This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome to the X&C Podcast. I'm Colteastwood. Welcome to the show, episode 108. And shoot, I don't know how long I've had Mag here on the show, but the reception has been, you guys have been far too kind for two guys like us, but maybe just the right amount of kind for Mag. Middle-aged game guy, how are you, bro?
Yes, I am fantastic, Cole. I'm excited to be here. Listen, there's no such thing as new energy, okay? We already had the energy. The energy was there. We just have to crank it up one notch higher. We're going to crank it to 11 so that people's heads literally explode when they watch the show, like that movie Scanners from the 80s. But anyways, listen, guys, gals, you have to notice that Colt had a new intro and everything else. Great new intro to the show. Super excited about that. I'm sure you noticed that Redfall's not there, so the Metacritic score for Colt's intro just went up by 30%. So now it's in the mid-80s. So anyways, listen, enough nonsense. We got a lot of things to talk about. We got a lot of things to scream about. We have a lot of things to not breathe about because, you know, I see it in the chat all the time. Mag, breathe. I can't. I just have to keep talking. But anyways, let's get into this great show tonight, baby. Let's go.
I mean, that's one heck of an intro. And there's always going to be the 80s references, and there's always going to be two angry guys. We're like the old dudes up in the top of the Muppets, the old critics. Yeah. But we really appreciate you. We really appreciate you guys being here.
More like Randolph Fraud.
I talked to Randolph Thor today, and he's breaking down some of the fake rumors and leaks. We're going to break down some of the fake leaks. We're going to talk about the stuff that is actually happening, what could happen, what should happen. Also, we're going to talk about the biased media in good ways, bad ways, and of course truthful ways, and where we really think they're sitting. But before we get started, before Mag and I talk about what we've been working on, I want to give a shout out to the channel members and Patreons, the veterans. I've got a list over here. I'll look over there and read it, so I'm not on camera, not right on the lens. But we've got Mark Carwell, KY Bob, Assassin, Lupa Jazzy Newt, Ricky Fallon, Matic Master, Jason Lawan, Moby, Lord Starkiller, William Riggs, Matt Burns, William Lanza, Yodana Kizana, Nanopolymus, Suicide King, Red Wolf, Robert Jackson, Lord Starkiller, Dante Moody, Betamax, Dark CMF, Gaz, Reek Havoc, Zender, White, Devaro, 2 Gaming, V Simcoe, Assassin, Poochie, Dub, Larry Thatcher, Hargy, Chani, TK, Chillin, Raiden Blade, Keep Perspective, True 77, Risk for the Biscuit, Micah Ford, Red Source, Dave UK01, Quinn's Harmony, Attitude Eric, Pesky Krogan, Pen Pineapple Pen, Trell Roberts, Neil B, Boba Fett, Gaming, Macbound, Meat Puppet, Almost Done, Kung Fu Hot Dog, Xbox International, Alan Adeltry, Jedi, Jay Goalie, Gamer by Choice, Rippin1, Highlander 001, Havoc, and Zimic. Thank you so much for all you do to keep the studio lights on and the cameras beautifying both of our faces. We really appreciate that so much. Channel members get early access to videos. They get their name highlighted in the chat. They also get a little badge that I drew and monthly giveaways for merch and all that stuff. So join the channel if you'd love to. We really appreciate it. Mag, tell us what you've been... Well, we talked pre-show, and you've been working your butt off out of town, but what games you've been playing in the meantime?
Oh, boy. But do I have a story for you about this? So, I've been playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, right? And I got to the point where I got 84% completion of all that. Now, I have this on the PS5 because my game share partner, right? So, I'm doing the trophy thing, not the achievement thing. Pony! So, anyways, I'm at 84%, right? And there's this one trophy or achievement, and it is for finishing the game with an S+ rank without using a new game plus. It is almost impossible. So I tried, and I just gave up. I got so mad. I deleted it off the hard drive. I walked away. I was about to start other games, this and that, whatever. And then it was almost like a gift from the gods. Some guy just showed up. I don't even know who this guy is. He just showed up on YouTube with a video saying, how to, a strategy for S+ rank or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let me watch this guy for like 10 minutes. Let me just entertain the idea. So I watched this guy's video, and after 10 minutes, I'm like, this might work. I'm like, this might actually work. So there was a couple of little workarounds, carrying over like some specialty weapons from like the mercenaries and things like that, whatever. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it. The point is, I did it. So I went back, I reinstalled it. I did the S Plus rank on hardcore, and now I've only got 2 left. I got 2 runs left. I've done 7 runs of the game. I got 2 left. One is to finish the game with a handgun and a knife only, and the other run is to finish it on standard difficulty with an S Plus rank, which is basically you finish the campaign in under 5 hours. So that's it, and then I get the platinum. This will be one of the hardest platinums I've and actually 1,000 out of 1,000s I think I've gotten, because I got 1,000 of 1,000 on Hogwarts Legacy on Xbox. This has got to be one of the hardest completions I've done in a couple of years. So that's what I've been doing.
How many hours? How many hours in this thing?
I'm at. Hold on, let me check. Click, boom. 93 hours. I'm 93 hours into this game. And like I said, I've done 7 run-throughs. I've done Mercenaries. I've got S Plus ranks on everything except for those last 2 that I got to do, those last 2 runs. So, yeah, so I'm having a blast. I can't put the game down. So all these other games that I bought have just been sitting there going, please, sir, could you try me next? And I'm like, no, you sit in the dungeon, you will. So, Special Nick, I saw what you said, scumbag. So, yes, what? He shows up in the chat and he says, hey, losers. And I mean, he's either talking to me and you or he's talking to the chat. One of the two. He's
way, talking to us because the chat, they're not losers. They're amazing. But we are, you know what, Nick? We love you. We love you.
You know, no. He's going to jail right next to Risk It for the Biscuit. The two of them can be cellmates. Right?
Bro,
so anyway.
Bro, it has been rough. If you're an Xbox fan or you're an Xbox, if you wave the flag for Xbox at all, it's been rough lately. The way that people have, there's been several witch hunts for, I will take your head on a pike, sir. Yeah, that's been going on. We'll get into that in a little bit as I fidget over here. I've been playing a couple interesting games. I've been dallying around with the old Jedi Survivor, and
I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait. As soon as I'm done with RE4, I got to get into it.
It's pretty good. A lot of puzzles. It's a little choppy. I've also messed around with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Starts real slow. Still don't think it's going to be my type of game. That might be something I'm going to dive into after the showcase event when we're in like the dead of summer. But people might be wondering, I'm playing Lego 2K Drive, and people might be going, is that good? Because I could use a fresh new game, and it's pretty cool. It's hard to recommend at $70 in the US because it's a 2K game. They're charging full price, but it's like Sonic All-Stars transformed with Lego Forza a little bit. It's got the battle races right out of Mario Kart and stuff, and it's just got a ton of fun in it. It's got a bunch of different side challenges that pop up over the map. It's super cheesy. I've enjoyed it. Kind of glad I got it. So keep an eye out for that one when it drops on sale. If you think you might like it, wait till it hits 50 or 40, and I would definitely pick it up and get some enjoyment out of it. And I've been playing ground with my kids.
Yes,
the spiders are horrific. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing. But yeah, we appreciate 700 of you checking out the show, and we're just hobbling right along here. We've got 20 days until the showcase.
Is that it? 20 days. Holy mackerel! It's creeping up on us quick. So let me get this all straight. Let's get this in our heads right now. We've basically got an elongated E3 over the course of 2 months. So we've got PlayStation this Wednesday, right? So 48 hours from now. And then in 20 days, we have Xbox. So like I said, it's basically like an elongated E3.
Well, before that, you've got Summer Games Fest, which we'll talk about as well. There's some big announcements coming. Yeah, Summer Games Fest would be on Thursday. Xbox's show would be the following Sunday, which is in the second week of June. And then, of course, the other publishers will have their shows.
Don't we have Keighley as well? Somewhere in the mix?
That's Summer Games Fest, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that was before Xbox. I thought that was after Xbox. Anyway,
but then,
carry on.
I mean, I'm not like clocking what Ubisoft's doing, but for me, like their announcement will be up, like, oh, our show is tomorrow, and I'll be like, oh yeah, and I'll check those out. So yes, the E3 banner is still waving as we've got tons of things to talk about. We are going to talk about that media bias stuff. I want to dip lightly into the PlayStation Showcase. Let's get that out of the way first, because do expect, this is an Xbox-centric show, but do expect some pretty cool third-party games that PlayStation has the marketing for that we'll get to say, hey, I get to play that on my PC or my Xbox. Mag, what sticks out from you from the news about the showcase that comes out in 2 days? What are you excited for?
Like, are you talking about third party or just talking about in general?
Like what announcements? Yeah, like I did phrase that as third party, but what big game are you most excited about that PlayStation is going to have in their showcase?
I mean, we've all heard, first of all, let's get this out of the way. Sony insiders have a 0.00% success rate when it comes to their shows. I don't know where these clowns come from. You got Sony's the market leader in the world, yet you can't get a single insider who get anything right. That either means that everybody's full of garbage, or Sony has the tightest security on Earth. They must have, because they don't leak anything. Like, nothing leaks from them, and anything that quote unquote leaks from them is always wrong.
Let me read this one from one of our good friends, Foxy Games UK, who is a PlayStation centric YouTuber and personality. Foxy Games says, by the way, there's a certain PS5 exclusive game reveal showing up on Wednesday that may even steal the glorious Spider-Man 2 thunder. And he's got the little eyes emoji looking over. And he says, have some diapers on standby. And I thought, Mag, have some diapers. Maybe they're announcing some great E for Everyone kids game.
Well, it's either that or the fact that you and I are watching the show, and we already are old enough that we wear Depends. So it doesn't matter. I was wearing diapers for the show anyway. I saw what you wrote. I saw what you wrote in the chat there, McBound. Okay?
McBound? McBound?
I call him... No, his name is McBound from now on. That's it. It's McBound. He goes, Mag, stop being old and forgetting stuff. Anyhow, here's the thing. Spider-Man 2 is not a surprise to anybody. So that's not a highlight of the show for me. I already know it's coming, and I already know what I'm going to do in the game. Well, within reason.
Well, let's talk about what you already know you're going to do. So a fan today asked Insomniac, will there be co-op in Spider-Man 2? And they said, no, it's an epic single-player adventure game. And PlayStation guys started deleting tweets about, I hope it has co-op, because neither will it be in the day will an excellent PlayStation exclusive have launched with great co-op in the single-player campaign. Not almost never. I mean, they have brought it to Returnal. They brought it to Ghost of Tsushima post launch. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, of the Marvel Insomniac Spider-Man game. Playing that in co-op might have kind of taken me up to that next level. How do you feel, or do you just want to play that by yourself?
Listen, McBound, he's like, all love, bro. And I'm like, dude, I'm just kidding. You got to understand. I come across aggressive. I'm just kidding around. Anyways, in all seriousness, here we go. The thing with Spider-Man is that I heard it. Well, I think we heard about a year ago that they talked about that, where they were saying that it's not going to be co-op because they showed Miles Morales and Peter Parker together, right? And I'm like, that is, for me, that's a bit of a misstep, because that really would have opened the community up for a lot of cool stuff. However, that comes with a lot of caveats and a lot of difficulties in terms of programming the game, right? It adds all these different things where all of a sudden,
progression, you don't want to Gotham and drop in, drop out, which Redfall couldn't do.
It's a pain in the neck. Yeah, exactly. There you go. And the thing is, you don't want to start mucking up a perfect series right now, right? They have the Spider-Man one, which was fantastic. Miles Morales, and a continuation of fantastic. So what they're going to do, obviously, is going to be very much like Grand Theft Auto 5. You press a button and you could change from Miles Morales to Peter Parker. You press the button again, you might go from Peter Parker back to Miles Morales, and you know what I mean, for exploring open world stuff. And obviously, there's going to be, my guess is that there's going to be different icons on the map with different characters or whatever, right? It'll have the Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
That's my prediction.
With Peter Parker. Yeah. And so
my prediction is it won't do the hot swap like you do in Grand Theft Auto 5, but rather there'll be an M or a P or a P. Hey, speaking of old, I just went through puberty. There'll be an M for Miles or a P for Peter Parker on the map, and more like Gotham Knights, you choose who you go out to do your missions. But knowing what they've done with the last two games, and we won't talk about Spider-Man for more than a minute, but I would assume they'll just put, like you said, they'll put the initial on the map, and if you want to go over there, you're going to do a Miles Morales mission, and then somewhere and I'm sure in the game, both of you will be on the screen at the same time. People are asking, how about one last thing before we drop it off? Mag, what about a cooperative AI moments where Miles can be next to you and you can use button combos to bring him in. You think that's possible?
100% that's going to happen. I think that's an absolute must because it's going to add a whole new dimension to the gameplay. Now, speaking of dimensions, I did hear that we actually brought up this before. There was a couple of not concerns, but there was some concern as saying, are we just going to swing through Manhattan again? I mean, we already did it one, we already did it in Miles Morales, but then hearing these rumors that it says there's going to be new locations entirely, and it could be like interdimensional in nature, and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty wild. So if that's the case, that's great. Now back to the subject at hand. Yes, Spider-Man. Now here's a big thing. This is what is going to sell me a PSVR 2. And I said this a couple of months ago. I don't care if I vomit on my cat. I want a Spider-Man VR game made by, I'm on a Spider-Man supplementary VR game made by Insomniac to release this fall with the game side by side, or maybe it's the same game.
You will vomit on your cat if you're doing swinging around Manhattan in first person.
I don't care. I'm going to do that. I want that. I would buy a PSVR 2 just for that. Ironically, I'm 48 years old and I don't get motion sickness or anything like that when playing VR. I pick the most, the games that say like warning on it with a big red warning for like motion sickness on VR games. I buy only those and I don't feel it. And it's remarkable. Anyways, the point is that would sell me on that. What I'm excited for this showcase, moving on to there, I'll just kind of slip into that quickly. I'm excited to see this Factions 2 business because they have to drop something this year. And then I want to see a sneak peek of Naughty Dog's new sci-fi game because their new game is going to be a sci-fi game, not Last of Us 3. They're doing the sci-fi game first. Last of Us 3 is going to be after.
That actually we'll get to that in a moment because I said the same thing about Naughty Dog and got a correction. That'll actually come in. That's kind of funny. Somebody asked in the chat about my mic. Let me get to that in just a second. As far as the PlayStation Showcase, I put a poll in the chat and I said, is Xbox going to kill it or Xbox going to be killed? And 74% says Xbox going to kill it. And we're going to talk about that because I think that's the only direction they can go. And they held back everything last year and we suffered for it. For anybody that wants to know, I'm using, of course, the customary Shure mic that a lot of people use on podcasts, but thanks to like Dealer Gaming and Fonz at the time he was using it, but I have a DBX compressor and amplifier, and I have a slight noise gate, so it will kind of drown out the fan noise in here. But I don't know. I've tried to get really great sound because when you do YouTube stuff or you do podcasts, especially when you're doing production videos, the rule number one is the audio has to be spot on because they'll forgive bad quality video if the audio is nice because that'll grate on your ears. But yeah, I've got a mixer and a DBX. You can look it up. It's about $200. A lot of money so that I could sound as sultry as this. And next on the top of the pops for the top 40, we got the Sim Dive and Rick Astley with the Dance Gun on the Give Me Up and Zip Laps too. But yeah, we have a good time. But thanks, world-renowned GeoHound, for asking that question. We are going to talk about where is it? Let me grab these a couple supers here. We're going to talk about this media stuff. It's kind of crazy. Thank you so much, Kung Fu Hot Dog, with the 2-pound super. Says Colt Mags, who's better? Oh, Ario Speedwagon or Toto?
Ooh, that's a tough one because Ario Speedwagon has some great hits, man. I want to know what love is. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's Foreigner. No, they have. I'm going to keep on loving you.
Oh,
and they
whoops,
got,
wrong guy.
Friend who...
Oh, no. In that case, forget it. Ario Speedwagon doesn't hold a candle to Toto. I mean, Toto's got Africa. They've got that, what the heck?
Rosanna, Hold the Line.
Rosanna. I love that. Rosanna. Yep. Yeah, that's a good song. Yeah, that's a good tune. No. Toto wins that one. I mean, for those bands, yeah, absolutely. No, Ario Speedwagon can go, whatever.
There's just something about the Ario Speedwagon guy's voice that's a little weird to me, even though he's a great vocalist. But, I mean, Toto's my favorite. I met him twice. And that was a dream come true as a nerd like I am. Nice. Poochie, who has been a channel member for 23 months, DM'd me the other day and said that he's going to the Xbox Showcase in FanFest, so we'll get to meet. I felt like we might have met last year, but well, anyway, he says, what's up, fam? Let's have an amazing show, guys. Also can't wait for FanFest, so I will see him there. Sith Lord also sends a chat and says, just got back from Anime Con, tired as heck. I know you guys will give me the strength I need to stay awake as I unpacked. Yeah, Anime Con. I wonder where the heck that was. I bet there was a lot of people there. Uncle Chowder says, much love to you guys. Thanks for all your hard work. Is it possible we're going to hear more about Indiana Jones? Really excited about that one. Man, when was that announcement? Like 2020?
It was 2 years ago. They got, you know what? Right off the fact that the movie's coming out. I mean, I know that, it's 50-50 on the critics right now, as they saw it at Cannes Film Festival. However, Cannes Film Festival I take with a massive grain of salt because let's face it, it's the Cannes Film Festival. It's a pretty snooty-tooty kind of an event. So, everybody's like, with the big French cigarettes, like, I don't know, this movie, I don't know. Whatever, right? And so there's a little bit of snooty-tooty that goes on over there.
Last week, your CMA impression was a huge hit. And one guy was like, I am from the UK, sir, and I am unsubbing. I'm not going to use an English accent for the fear of him unsubbing yet again.
Perfect. He'll be separated just like the UK will when Microsoft cuts them out of the deal. Whoops! Did I say that? Spoiler alert!
Oh my gosh! I couldn't believe it. I was like, "How dare you! I will be unsubscribing forthwith." And I got a good kick out of that. And I still get comments like Mag's UK CMA impression was fantastic.
I went for not like, obviously I didn't go for a common the common English tongue. I went for a Patrick Stewart type. So I tried to go for that because I figure if I'm reading something official, I have to sound either like Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen, right?
Well, I mean, take your pick. Yeah. There's like 8 different dialects and
oh my god,
accents around the UK, around the east, west, north, south, and then you get up to Liverpool and Scotland. And like a good friend of mine, Chris Grinnell's from Liverpool, and his accent is completely different from Dar's Knight, and Dar's Knight's completely different from Gaz. Asa and Gaz are very different, but everybody in the world is completely different. Yodana Kizada says, gonna call back to the 2013 Xbox One TV sports TV. He says, when we ended up with Scalebound while our hooved friends play Sunset Overdrive 2. That was the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of the Xbox One reveal was in May. And I think we told that story a couple times from our perspective, and I was like, back there in May 2013. One more, Dark CMF says, I have to give you guys a slight edge give the slight edge to Toto. We will be living vicariously through you guys, and the fam will be killing it tonight, guys. He's not going to make it to FanFest like he did last year. He's been super busy, but let's get on to the topics. We've got the Grand Theft Auto 6. Let me talk about this for a second, Mag. There was like a whole thing about this amazing water physics, and Strauss Zelnick from Take-Two said that the team at Rockstar is hard at work to make it the best it can be, and they're in no big rush, which probably means we could see the game in a year or two. It does sound like it's really close, but they're not trying to rush it out like this holiday or anything like that. That's a big topic to just kind of throw at your feet, Mag, but how about this? Man. The PlayStation guys are adamant. The fake insiders are slipping under the rug and telling people that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be a 1-year timed exclusive on the PlayStation 5. Tell me why it won't, Mag.
Stop it. First of all, they don't need to be money-hatted by anybody. They're printing billions of dollars on their own. They do not need can I borrow $5 million from you and I'll give you an exclusive something or other. They don't need that kind of money. And people are like, well, Rockstar doesn't release a lot of games, right? Because, they don't. They really don't. But they don't need to because their games make billions of dollars. Grand Theft Auto Online or GTA 5 Online alone makes more money than most studios will ever make in a lifetime. And that's just the
had
online
one last gen, right? Just Red Dead 2 for an 8-year generation.
And they don't need to do anything else
because
they make billions of dollars now. However, they did say that they're going to put a huge push out there. Yeah, I mean the big push is coming. They talked about Max Payne coming back, which I'm excited for. Max Payne, Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm sure there's going to be another Red Dead somewhere down the line, or maybe like a different story. Who the heck knows? They talked about some other titles. I can't remember them all offhand, but those are the big ones. But Max Payne and Grand Theft Auto. I'm excited for that. Now, as for Grand Theft Auto 6, there's absolutely no need for them to rush the game. I think it will come out in 2024. I think the end of 2024. And they will say something. They will say something, and it's Sony Showcase, but I don't think that they need to do that because Rockstar can reveal their games anywhere they want with a tweet, for crying out loud, or just a trailer on YouTube, and they will literally break the internet. So they don't need to piggyback off somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need Sony. They don't need Microsoft. And
they don't.
Sure
I can see PlayStation trying to get the marketing rights to it. And I think they have done that in the past. They had like an exclusive, crotchless chaps or something in Red Dead 2.
That's perfect.
Right?
I own a pair.
I also would believe, like, where there's smoke, there's fire. So any PlayStation fans that are saying it's going to be exclusive to the PS5 at launch, they're probably getting sparks and little fire embers off of the game having marketing rights. So I could see Grand Theft Auto making some sort of small teaser at this showcase event tomorrow or Wednesday, which would be amazing for everybody, right?
If they do, Sony would have to pay a lot of money up front for something like that because
they are.
Like
they are paying a lot of money. Like right now, they're looking at buying studios in a world where consolidation is evil and no one should do it. Granted, Xbox has already bought 8 studios and they're trying to buy 8 more. PlayStation's trying to play catch up because they need to follow where the market's going, and that is buying studios. Hey, shout out to we've got almost 1,300 people watching live. Welcome to the show. This is X and C podcast. I was going to say episode 103. Crazy the show's been going on 2 years. Also, we are on Spotify, Apple, Google, Pocket Podcasts, and any place you want to check out the show on demand. Yeah, I guess I would say, wireless earbuds. They're all the rage these days. And listening to the show, we really appreciate it. Hey, if you're on Spotify or whatever, checking out the show after the fact, like it's already up on YouTube, but you're just listening, please do give us some feedback and let's say, Mag and Cole, you guys sound like idiots on a mic. We don't know what you're talking about. Now, let us know if we're doing all right. Hit the like button, most of all, if you guys are having a good time. We got a ton to talk about. We're going to move off of Grand Theft Auto because Mag and I could actually talk about it all night, and we won't.
I'm so excited. I heard that they have like 20 engineers working on the water physics alone, and I'm like, fine, that's great, wonderful. But then I'm like thinking about it. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just saying, if all the rumors are true that it's going to take place in Vice City, a much bigger and expanded Vice City, obviously way bigger than the original, because that original map you could drive across it in like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. But obviously this is much bigger.
Toy airplane, you could fly over it.
My God. Yeah, no kidding, right? So,
oh my gosh.
I mean, for this, like the water stuff, apparently there's going to be water skiing in this game and all kinds of other like cool side activities and stuff. I'm so jazzed. I cannot wait for this game. But anyways, carry on.
Yeah, speaking of Take-Two, when I was talking about Strauss-Zelnick, Mag, he spoke up in an interview and said that they fully approve, I guess they fully approve of the ABK merger with Xbox. And they said what's good for Microsoft is good for us and good for the industry, which is completely opposite of what your British friend said, that, the one that you had on the show last week. That's been a whole big mess. I want to talk about, because we're not going to talk about ABK much, but Satya said something that was very fiery in that interview with MSNBC. And he asked him, and I'll go to you on this, Mag. He asked him, do you see a future where Microsoft just goes ahead without the UK and closes the deal and leaves them behind? And what did Satya say? This is kind of almost a week old at this point, but we haven't done the show. What was Satya's words?
I believe he said, we'll see. I didn't take it. I got to tell you, when he said we'll see, he was very...
He said, let's see how it all plays out, right?
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was just,
let's see how it... He just smiled. He goes, let's see how it all plays out. And I think
that was I don't know, man. I actually
what are you getting from that?
I didn't feel that there was anything nefarious behind those words, personally. I just thought he was just saying it because it's a pretty safe answer. It was just like, okay, let's see how it all plays out and just kind of keep quiet about it. Like, I don't think
he's not going to say yes or no in that situation. Is that what you're getting at?
He would never, not as the CEO. That would be completely inappropriate on every level, on every corporate level to say.
I mean, did you see his smile though, Mag? Did you see his?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's always smiling, but
he's got to be upbeat. He's got to be positive. He's got to be whatever. You got to put on that. You got to put on that camera face, right? When
did you see some blood though? There was. I thought I saw a little blood on it and under his fingernails.
That's
just a little bit.
Possible. That's possible. He probably clawed a few people before they went live. But maybe his makeup artist. And he's like, I told you to part me on the left. And it's like, but you don't have any hair, sir. Yeah. Anyways, so I don't know. Anyways, the thing is, when I do my Zoom calls with my American friends. Okay, I gotta be like this the whole time. Hey guys, how's it going? Everybody having a great day?
I'd love to get that for you by the end of business tomorrow. I can't wait. Yeah, like that.
Let's talk some positive numbers, folks. Right? So you gotta you gotta do that kind of talk, right? So hey, you know what? I did not take anything in a nefarious fashion. I didn't look at that and go, oh snap, and then start like trashing my house. I was just like, okay, I think he's just leaving it alone. I don't think they're going to walk away from the UK. I think that's too big of a market for them to lose in terms of having access to Game Pass or whatever, because that's their end goal, right? Or at least it's an option, not end goal. I don't want to say that anymore. I'm not going to say that Game Pass is their end goal. It's a healthy option. Right, and I think it's something that'll work. They'll work out in the long run, and I think that eventually the CMA is going to have to cave, and they're going to have to, because everybody else is approving around them, including China this week, right? So
yeah, I think that's looking, analyzing into what Satya said when he's like, let's see how it all plays out, and we're done. He's like, we're done with that question, right? That's how he treats it. And I think that Satya knows that the pressure is on the UK and the CMA, and they know that the UK and the tech industry, the regulators, the government bodies, and all these people are clashing right now. And the citizens and consumers of the UK, they don't want these roadblocks. They want things to blossom and grow and spread the way they're supposed to. And so I think Satya's like, his answer, and here's my opinion, that Satya's answer is like, he says, do you feel like there's a future where you just pull out and go on without the UK? And Satya's thinking, I don't need to say anything because it's going to naturally run its course. I think that's what he was saying. Let's see how it all plays out, because they're under, not Microsoft as much, but like I said, UK and the regulatory bodies and all of those working cogs within the UK are under extreme pressure. And it's kind of like when you kind of throw meat down and you watch the creatures fight it out, and you stand back and go, okay, I don't have to fight this. And I think he thinks it's going to play its way out naturally. Yeah. And at some point, either it's the prime minister or it's the other regulatory bodies that will put the pressure on CMA going, "What? Well, you are the odd person out here." That's what I think Satya was saying. But we will never know. We'll never know.
The pressure will crush them like a diamond. Red monkey butt. That's the funniest. I'm not even going to say it out loud, but I'm not on this show. But that was a really funny comment. Anyways.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, you see it now?
Never.
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 Never, red monkey butt. Never.
That's not good advice. That's not good advice.
So here's the thing. At the end of the day, you're absolutely right, and that's basically what I was trying to get across. Is that you know what? When he says that, let it all play out. The pressure alone from all the surrounding parties is going to make it happen anyway. Because listen, they already know they got their claws too deep into the UK already. I mean, they're running the national security, for crying out loud, right? They're already integrated into the government. They're already watching everything that's going on. London has cameras on every single street corner. I'm sure that every single one of them is operated by some kind of a Microsoft system. I would have to assume that, right? Because I mean, if they're in charge of their homeland, security, they would have to have some kind of a network system. I don't know, but this is just speculation that they would have some kind of network system that runs all that too, right? The programming. So I mean, why would they be worried about? They're not worried. I mean, when they first blocked the deal, that was a shock to everybody, and it was a shock to Microsoft as well. And they're like, "Oh wow, we didn't."
Oh yeah, they weren't ready for that.
We wanted more we expected more concessions, but certainly not. I saw your armpit,
yeah, it's nice. I was actually trying to. I brought the camera down the wrong direction, but.
So you know what? At the end of the day, let them fight it out. In the end, they're gonna cave. Right. And that's all there is to it. And Satya knows it. He knows it. Phil knows it. Everybody knows it. Come on, and it's not. I'm not even worried about it.
After all they've been through, I think they're probably just thinking, this is going to be an annoyance longer than it needs to be. I just don't get. It's such a positive response from Satya in my eyes, and I know a lot of people were analyzing that over the past week. That the CMA is like, I saw like a meme where it was like a tug of war, and CMA was all by themselves. Eventually, it's been a whole big mess. This is. I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but I meant to actually bring this up when Strauss-Zelnick of Take-Two was talking about the future and the merger and what they're doing with Grand Theft Auto. He also let loose that there's going to be a PS5 Pro and an Xbox mid-gen console refresh. Now, anybody could speculate on this, but I am very, 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 very confident that there will be a PS5 Slim at the end of the year. Maybe that's going to be one of the big announcements, but keep in mind that a PS5 Slim is not really a big announcement and not really even something you need to show at the showcase, because all it is on the inside is a cheaper build of the same price console that they're going to shove out to you.
Probably smaller.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be smaller. It'll be cheaper for them. It'll be the same $350 or $450 for the discless one. I would predict that the PS5 Slim, and there'll be no response from Xbox for a Slim model, but the PS5 Slim will be discless, but will have a component in it that allows for that detachable or plug-in optical drive if you want to make that easier. And then Strauss-Zelnick is sure that there is a PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X2 coming at the end of 2024 or 2025, which is absolutely nuts. I got to ask the audience, especially, would you want to buy an Xbox Series X2? Right now, we're not getting the performance. I would buy one immediately, and I would take the one I have and trade in for $300 at GameSpot. Stop. Mag, would you even bother? Or are you good with what you got? I'm going to put a poll up.
Boy, some people are not going to like my answer. I wouldn't buy a Series X2 thus far, because I think that everything that's in there hasn't even been utilized or maximized yet. They haven't done anything with that thing.
Right.
And, so far, like I said, before people start throwing themselves out of windows after what I said. But so far, they haven't shown any reason why this system even exists in terms of the power. The power is there. It's slightly more powerful than the PS5 as it stands. When they start utilizing and maximizing the performance of the Series X, then we're going to see some pretty amazing stuff when we're talking about like your Fables and whatever else. I don't think it's necessary right now for a Series X refresh. Now, the PS5 is performing, it's punching above its weight. Because, if you look at all these third-party games are performing and playing better on the PlayStation 5 because they're optimizing it better for that system, because that's either A, they got the marketing deal, and B, let's face it, they're the market leader, so they're going to be, gearing it towards the larger console base, right? Look at the sales. So, it's not like I'm talking out of my, whatever, but look at the sales of like the top 10 sales. 6 out of the 10 were Sony marketed games, and they sold like 3-1, 4-1 over the Xbox, and they were third-party games, right? So obviously the devs are going to tailor them for a better experience on the PlayStation 5, right? I'm not saying they're doing it for any bad reasons or like on purpose. I'm just saying that's what it is. Now, as for the Slim, I could see Sony launching a PS5 Slim with Spider-Man, and that's going to be, remember, they did it in 2018, remember that? And that's where all of a sudden they went from like almost neck and neck to like within a week they almost doubled their console sales because they were selling them for, I think it was like $299, I think, in the US.
It was a Pro, Spider-Man Pro, so it was $399.
No, not that one. No, not that one, the red one. I have that red one, the red one.
Oh, you mean when they bundled it? They bundled it.
Yes. And it was on sale for like $299. And they were selling those PS4 Slims at $299 with Spider-Man in it, and people were buying like 6 or 7 at a time.
They put a pallet out on Black Friday, and it was like,
and so they like overnight. So that's what I think they're going to do this time as well. I think they're going to go PS5 Slim, charge less, and maybe $100 less, and bundle it with Spider-Man. They're going to blow the doors off the fall with that move. Now, as for a PS5 Pro, I could see that launching late 2024, early 2025. And then I think that will push the second half of the generation of, the second half.
Of
Sorry,
6
the second
to 8
half
years.
game
Yeah.
of the rest of this
man.
generation, right? With your GTA 6s. Now, here's my question: the reason why the Microsoft situation. Now this is a bit of a conundrum here. Do you launch a third SKU into the mix? That's the thing, because Series S's are outselling the Series X's.
Are you talking about, does Xbox do a third SKU?
That's what I'm saying.
We've been talking about that behind the scenes as well. It does sound messy, because the Series S would remain, which some developers have had a hard time with. The Series X would remain, and then you'd have basically your Xbox One X. Now, keep in mind, I'm feeling very confident that the next model of the Xbox will be called Xbox Series X2. And I don't think they're going to treat it so much as a mid-gen refresh. If Xbox got wind of Sony's PS5 Pro talks, like we were hearing this 2 years ago, and if the Xbox team got wind of that 2 years ago, I would think that they took whatever, because in 2020 or 2021, I think it was. I can't remember. I think it's 2021. Phil Spencer said we were already into developing the next generation consoles in a media interview that I got early access to. I still have it on my drive. So that's not like any type of crazy news. He just said like we're not giving up on console. We're already designing the next console. And so I would say if they got wind of it, yeah, and if they got wind of the PS5 Pro 2 years ago, they would tell him, all right, whatever you're doing, fast track it to come out in 2025 or 2024. And they could do that. They just kind of, the lofty dreams, they just bring them back and say, okay, what can we get? Because what they typically do is get last year's great tech in the launch of a console. So we're talking Zen 3, we're talking Zen 2, sorry, for processing, and RDNA 3, which would be compatible with RDNA 2. It's all real techie stuff. Red Tech Gaming did a great video about it on Sunday, and I listened to it, and he broke down like some of the stuff still compatible. And I put up a poll, and 52% are saying no, they wouldn't want one, but things are sounding really great. But they also sounded really great when the Series X came out, and it has not performed as it should.
But where's the fault lie in that, though? That's where I'm starting to ask questions, because if you look at the blueprint, when they started launching this, they talk about it. Jason Ronald did his rounds, and he's talking about the hardware. Once it was obviously revealed and released, and this and that, and they talked about it. I'm like, this thing has the potential. It has the potential to do this. So where does the fault lie when a game doesn't reach that potential? Is that we start looking at the developers? They didn't have enough time to work with it. What is it? Was it COVID that kept everybody apart? I don't know. I'm just asking questions here, and that's where I need to know that, because from what I've seen so far, the Series X has the potential by a long shot, not a long shot, but by a bit anyway, that it could outperform the PlayStation 5, and it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it was 15. It was 15, almost 30%. I mean, I know why.
That's a lot, Colt.
I know why. The PS5 is way easier to port and develop for. Way easier, and Xbox is not. Also, DX12, the API for PC and Xbox, is a major hurdle right now. So they're not in a great position. And Xbox needs to show that they have a commitment to the consoles moving forward, and that's going to be a really tough ask. Really tough.
Hold on, Colt. I got a big thing here. Now, there's another thing I wanted to bring up.
I know you do.
Briefly. Here's the thing. When we had the shortage, when you had the supply shortage and everything else, a lot of people haven't been able to get these consoles until now, this year, 2023. Yeah. I mean, you remember how actually Xbox had much more. They had more available for a longer period of time. Clearly, they made it better. Yeah, they clearly had a better backdoor deals with these companies to be able to get those chips produced, right? However, PlayStation got a lot of exposure recently, saying we're finally in the stores. It's finally there. You can walk into any GameStop anywhere, and they got stacks of PS5s now, right? So they're there. So the thing is, now that people are starting to get them, does it? And it's basically a rhetorical question here. It's just that, is it a slap in the face to the consumers that they just purchased something now and they're not cheap? I mean, my wife just got a PS5. It was like $700, right? Bundled with God of War, Ragnarok. That was the bundle that she got, right? So, I mean, that's not cheap. And then all of a sudden you're going to say, oh, and by the way, there's a Pro coming next year. What? Like, some people are going to be like, why didn't I just wait? So that's a question that, like I said, it's a rhetorical question.
I mean, how different is it from the people who buy a phone every 2 years? I don't. I usually wait 4 or 5 years, but
right. I'm every
no
2
complaints.
years because I do it. Mine's a lot for work, right? So
yeah, I mean,
but still, I don't know, man.
Well, I'll tell you another thing about the price, Mag, is that Phil Spencer said that they're going to have to hike prices, and they haven't yet. They've still not risen in the price of the Xbox Series X or the Series S, but they have made readily available the Forza Horizon bundle, which technically puts it at, in the US dollars, instead of $500, $550. So when I go back to the Xbox Series X2, that's when the thing gets price hike. All new hardware in the generation. Are you ready?
Yeah, well, yeah.
They can launch that thing in 2024, 2025. I mean, I don't think they're going to launch a Series X2 in holiday 2024. I'll bet you anything that if a Pro comes out in 24, Xbox doesn't have their answer till a year later. So in 2025, fully expect Series X2 MSRP in the US $599 instead of $499.
100%.
Right?
I agree with that. Now that leads me to my last point about this, and this is where the one that actually kind of burns me a bit was the Xbox One X, right?
Yes.
So we had the Xbox One X came out, and I'm like, all right, I got this thing now, and all of a sudden, like, before you know it, they're like, and here's the next gen.
Scarlett.
Here's the Series X. And I'm
it's because they were a year later than the Pro, but even the Pro, it was like 4 years later, you got a new console.
Right.
I still believe
it's going to play out as the same as last gen then.
Yeah, I think the Xbox One X was incredible for its price point.
Oh, no, it was.
It should have been $100 cheaper. It should have been the same price as the Pro because it had better tech, but it was a year newer. I still stand by that. I love that Xbox One X. And that's when Xbox really nailed it.
Mine melted. And
yours melted?
Yeah, it was unfixable. So I actually, at the time, I had an Xbox One S. It was sitting in my bedroom. And the One X that I had downstairs, it ended up overheating, and then I took it to a repair guy. Yeah, there you go. And that thing weighed a ton, man. Holy. And anyways, so I brought it to a repair guy. I'm like, can you do anything with it? He opened it up, and the entire motherboard was melted. It looked like a pile of like dried pancake batter inside. And so I lost it. So there was no repairing it, and I obviously didn't buy another one. So I wrote out the rest of the gen on a 1S, and whatever.
One S.
I
picked that thing up, and I got a hernia picking that thing up just now.
Dude, that thing weighs a ton.
It was like 9 pounds or something. I remember I used to go over the specs. And I bet you if I messaged dealer, he'd be like, "It's 8.6 Colt." He remembers all that stuff. Hey, cool. Thank you very much.
That's right, the Elvis of YouTube. Yeah, who never invites me to a show, by the way. And you know what? What he does, I'm just gonna say no now. I'm just gonna be like, no. My feelings are hurt. It's over.
Well, if you want to do, if you want to do 3 days in a row, that's what you'd end up doing if you went on RDX for a guest.
I know, and I don't have time on Tuesdays.
Highlander 001 has 2 super chats for $5 a piece. Yeah, you're gonna run out of free time. He says, I would laugh if the CMA announced on Wednesday that they approved the ABK deal. I know they will not, but I find it funny the story will never end. Also, there was a 1% chance today that Xbox could have closed the deal without the UK, which they haven't, and which they didn't, but it was actually a reality today on the 22nd of May. Is that the day? Yeah, I don't know what day it is. Yeah. It is Ecstasy Day. Zachary Binkley, thank you so much for the $5, says FOMO is a real thing in a lot of consumers that can really sell these pros and the mid-gen consoles, means, and companies know it.
He's right. I'd say 50. He's right. I'd say 15% of the consumer base, doesn't matter what it is, cell phones, consoles, tablets, whatever, There's always the 15% that'll buy it no matter what. They can release a Samsung they do pretty much every single year, or a new iPhone every single year, and people will take those old iPhones, toss it, and go grab a new one, right? And then, but I mean, let's also face it. They trade them in, and like, I could see that. Like, for example, as long as they have like a decent trade-in on that kind of stuff, then, it doesn't hurt the wallet so much. So, for example, let's use American funds. Let's use American funds, okay? If they do a Series X2 at $599, right? And let's say your GameStops, which obviously have way better trade-in values than they do up here, but let's say they offer you $300. Right, to trade in whatever, $250, $300 to like trade in your Series X, or let's say $250. Let's be reasonable, and you do that in order to upgrade your hardware. You're paying half. You're paying just under half, or just over half the asking price. That's not horrible.
That's exactly what I was going to ask the chat before you started posting that up, because normally you can get $300 for your console when the new ones are coming out, the mid-gen or next generation. So you said $250. I would say probably half. So think about this, chat, as Meg and I say this. If next year, if they said Xbox Series X2, it's built for ray tracing with performance, we're actually going to support it or something like that. I'm just kidding. Like, think about it. You can grab your Series X, go down to GameStop and get it for $300 out of pocket by trading in your Series X. Like, that would be super, like, who was it that said that? Was it Highlander?
It's not that big of a deal. Oh, speaking of Highlander, he said...
Or Zachary Binkley. That would be major FOMO, knowing that for just $300. I mean, it's a lot of money, but you spend almost that much on games every year sometimes.
Well, what were you saying? Exactly. Oh, I was just going to say, Highlander 001 said he said you forgot his second super chat and his member chat somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I was going to... Yeah, did I miss a member chat? Probably. His second one was Highlander says, I had my birthday Sunday and my wife got me a Rogue Ally for his birthday. Wow. Holy crap. Nice. I can't wait to play my Xbox games on it, as well as World of Warcraft. Well, it was nice knowing your wife. You're going to play World of Warcraft. You better write her a letter. Say, I'll see you after I get done with these dungeons. He says, great when I can travel. The Rogue Ally looks so cool. It makes the Steam Deck look not as cool.
I know.
Highlanders, yeah, it does look so cool. I mean, I'm not like the white handheld's not as cool, but you can see all the cool shapes they put on it. It's such a cool piece of kit. He says, Highlander says, what a big surprise from the Xbox Showcase. Do we get the announcement of the family plan for Game Pass? Jeez, yeah, it's so overdue. What will be the one more thing? Highlander, we'll get to that in just a bit. Alan Aldetre says, what's up, Colt? Mag, you guys are awesome. Keep up the great work and content. And I don't know, Mag, thank you so much. You've made the show so fun. I really appreciate you being here, bro.
Oh, come on, stop it. It's been an absolute honor to be here, man. And it's nothing short of a dream come true. I got to tell you, like these years ago when I was listening to everybody and everything, and like to me, you guys were like the rock stars, man. I wasn't watching everything. And all of a sudden I became a YouTube guy. I just listening to the shows constantly. And then the one fateful day when I finally I got a hold of Noof and I said, dude, let me try this thing. And then and he opened the door for me, right? And then when he opened that door for me, and I told him, I said, "Dude, I'll never forget this." And then everything took time. Look and here I am. So it's kind of funny. And you know the funny thing is, I remember years ago, and I said this on the first show that I did here with you, is that the very first show we did, I talked about it. One of your earliest videos. I commented on it and I said, "Hey man, you're gonna go places, man. I love your content, this and that." And you were just starting YouTube. And
really?
You replied to me and you said, "Oh, thank you for the support, this, that, and the other, whatever." And this was just in the YouTube comments. I've combed the internet just like Spaceballs and looking for that comment.
Man, we ain't found nothing.
Yeah. Yes. Have you guys found anything? So I've been combing, looking for that comment because it was really funny. I don't remember which video it is, and I went back and it was right when you first started. And who the hell knew that like 6 years later, however long it's been, here we are, the two of us bananas sitting here on this show doing it together. I'm like, what are the odds of this? This is madness, breaking life records.
It's no joke. It's no joke. I remember watching ACG's review on Dying Light, and I was playing the game because I watched his review, and I tried to make my own review because I was just getting started, and mine wasn't very great. And I thought he was so cool. And then one day, like last year, I had him on the show. And I know we're just YouTubers or content creators, just people in the community, but it means something. Like when he was on the show, like I was like, this is so cool because this guy is just such an entertaining personality and such a talent. And Next Gen 720, Zaire and Dealer like gave me my break on podcasting, and I owe them a lot for that. And I remember the same thing. I commented on one of Dealer's videos, and he said it had the most likes, and he replied to a message to me on Xbox, and you know, those things happen. Like, and we're just like he says, we're just idiots on a mic. And
it's true, but you know what though?
We appreciate it.
We all have something that we bring to the community and stuff like that. I don't have a YouTube channel. But I've chosen not to. I still have gotten millions of views on my videos on Twitter and everything else. Yep. And for me, it's about my personal feelings and whatever artistic. I mean, I have all kinds of different artistic expressions, which a lot of people don't even know about. With my music and like that, and of course my cooking and everything else, and whatever all these other things I do, and acting and all that kind of stuff. I do all that stuff, and I love doing that, right? But it's just the avenues that we choose to do. And I've actually had someone like comment saying, "Oh, well, you're not really a content creator unless you have a YouTube channel." That's the biggest load of crap I've ever heard in my life. I could launch a YouTube channel and I could blow those guys out of the water if I had the time. I don't, but I choose where I put my videos for specific reasons, and that's the way I do my thing, and that's the way I like to express myself. So, anyways, the point is, at the end of the day, we're all just people doing our things. We entertain. We do what we do. We do have a gift. I have to say, because otherwise, why the hell would all these people be here listening to us? And speaking of all these people, why are the like buttons not being smashed like crazy that my phone doesn't explode right now, and that I got ion lithium gas pouring all over me, and that's what I want to see. Well, I don't want to see that, but I mean, I want the likes to be through the roof. Guys, hit that like button. We got a great show going on. We hit over 1,500 people. Let's get past that Randall Thor guy and his buddy Jez there. Let's get past his number.
Impossible.
I want to get past the. It is possible.
It is impossible.
I've been digging deep to find dirt on those two so that I can ruin their careers, so that we actually take the.
That's a good idea. And I hired it's a ground squirrel that I put one of those little tags on his leg, and he is on his way to Rand's house to chew his internet cable so that their show will be off the air. So we're doing what we can. But happy birthday, Highlander! Thank you so much for the super.
Happy birthday, buddy!
Enjoy those long years that will make you old and senile. We love it. We've got a super here from the Game Boy, who sends a $5 super chat that says, Microsoft releasing another game console is not sustainable unless it has some true utility. And I agree with the Game Boy about right now Xbox doesn't make any money. They lose money on their console. PlayStation is able to make a little bit of profit. So Jim Ryan said, we're not putting games on PC anytime soon because he wants that upward climb of sales to continue to go.
Yeah, well, they have a different not marketing strategy. They have a different avenue for revenue, basically.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. A business model. Sorry, their business model is completely different. They're still riding off of the difference of you buy hardware, you buy software. Software works with hardware. End of story. Right. Whereas Microsoft, as we already know, they've been working on it for years and years and years. What are they trying to do? By the way, everybody in the chat, we see all the love that you guys sending us, and I'd love to respond to every single one of you guys, but I can't. But it's amazing. Thank you guys from both Colt and I. But anyways, here's the thing. Microsoft is opening up so many avenues in different areas, the cloud, streaming, whatever. Whether they work or not is these are all baby steps, and it may take years for these things to come to fruition, but it doesn't matter. The point is that they're accessing all these different things because at the end of the day, I just use the word accessibility. That's what that's all about, right? Yeah. And it's fine if that's the way. I don't fault Sony for doing what they do. That's the way they do it. That's the way they do it. If they're not going to release the games on PC for another year, it's because they want to put the games. They want the focus on the PS5, maximize their profit there, then maximize their profit even further on the PC down the road. Nintendo, you buy the Nintendo hardware, you play on the Nintendo hardware. That's it. And I'm fine with that too. If I'm going to go out and buy a $70 Tears of the Kingdom, which I haven't even opened out of the box yet, fine, which I did. And you know what? That's how they're going to do it, then that's how they do it. I'm not going to fault them for doing it. I'm a consumer. I choose where I want to spend my money. The thing is, and again, at the end of the day, if Microsoft wants to be everywhere, let them. That's great.
I think Microsoft and Xbox have made a couple of mistakes
Of course.
Phil says, well, yes, they've made mistakes, but Phil says that we're not in a console arms race against Nintendo and PlayStation. No, because right now there's no way they could catch up. But in the beginning of the generation, they could have stayed close neck and neck to them. But one of the mistakes, barring all the game stuff, right? One of the major mistakes was that they relegated a bunch of the hardware to the cloud instead of pushing Series X's out the door, which a lot of people wanted. And then I just wonder if PlayStation has projected the numbers, thought we'll make more money off of selling PlayStations than we will selling our games to everybody on PC and PS5. That must be the deduction they've come to. And hey, whatever. I mean, if you want to champion that your games can only be played in one place, if someone plays my favorite, if somebody plays Forza Horizon 5 on their PC, it doesn't hurt me whatsoever. Let's get into the next big topic, which is Starfield is the absolute fate of Xbox, and it is the hinge pin on their utter destruction in this universe we call Xbox. This is one of the pervasive narratives that's been going on, that Starfield is the last bastion. And thanks to Destin Legary, who wrote a strong, biting article about it, but headlined it in kind of an acerbic way. And it kind of came back to bite because he was trending. But this isn't just about Destin. This is actually about everybody, all of us, all of you here that are listening and watching the show. You have to wonder, is Starfield going to deliver? Will it be the beginning of a new era for Xbox, or will it not be good enough? And the media and the fans and the world as a whole looking at Xbox will say, Xbox has finally arrived, or are they just never going to get it? Meg, there's a lot to unpack with this. Yes. Let's talk about our predictions for Starfield as far as an OpenCritic or Metacritic score. Where do you think it's going to land based on your knowledge of Bethesda's games?
That's so tough to say. Shout out to Risk It for the Biscuit. By the way, he'd say he liked my shirt. I'm just going to show him quick. For those about to rock, we salute you. That's some thunder from down under, as they're known. Anyways, Starfield. This could range.
Give me a 5-point range. I'll give you that.
Come on, man. Can you give me 10?
No, I'm not giving you 10.
Give me 8. Can you give me 8? Can you give me 8?
What are you saying?
Just
80
give me
to an
8
88?
for Christ's sake.
Fine.
No. I'm saying 77 to 85.
All right, guys. It was nice having Meg on the show. Just everyone, we want to thank him for all of his time.
What the hell? We don't know anything about this game. I'm just throwing it out there.
What do you mean you don't know anything about this game? It's Skyrim in space. It's Fallout with a spaceship. What more do you need to know? Did you like Fallout 4? Listen, how much did you like Fallout 4? I'm
not a big fan of Fallout.
You and Rand are the same. Just utter frauds.
Maybe I am Rand wearing a Mac mask. I pull it off. I go, and I would have gotten away with that Starfield slander if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
If it wasn't for your ground squirrel that cut my internet line. That's not how Rand talks. Rand's like, hi guys. Okay, so anyway, 77 to what did you say? What was your math?
80 to 85. Now, hear me out before everybody loses their mind.
I'm going to do a poll while you give your rant.
Okay. Look at some people 82 to 86. Okay, these are all about around the range. Here's the thing. You're going to have the game. It may hit. It may not. Right? Like, who knows? There might be bugs. There might not be. We don't know the performance. We don't know what's going to happen. Then you're going to get people's minds. Now, I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about you. And I'm not talking about the chat. I'm talking about the reviewers who came off the last Xbox game, Redfall, are already going to have it in their heads going, you know what? I'll get more clicks if I talk smack. If you know what I mean? If I take this game down a few pegs.
Oh, my gosh. Are you going to go the direction that Special Nick went?
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You know what's going to happen? What's sold? What did a lot of YouTube
I can't do this
channels
poll right now. I need to be fully engaged in you right now.
Let me ask you this question.
All right, go ahead.
You know how many guys I know? Not ask you a question. Sorry. Let me just post some things out there. I know guys who are
Do you know how many guys I know? 17.
17 guys. 77 to 85 guys. Here's the thing.
Sounds like a great
I know guys
burger
who are
restaurant.
making hundreds. I know it does sound it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars they're making off their YouTube channels by crapping all over Disney and Hollywood and this and that and whatever, right? And so,
Little Mermaid's like a 52 or something.
Well, that's par for the course for Disney these days. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. But
All right,
anyways,
go into your little rant here. Go ahead.
This is what I'm trying to say. These negativity sells, all right? And of course, when you get like these companies that like don't help themselves, like Disney, they just keep digging a hole even deeper. They're like, oh, we weren't woken up? Okay, let's dig a deeper hole and double down on stupid, and then just get even worse and alienate like the audience. Anyways, the point is, the thing is when you get into like the video game business, they're thinking the same thing. You look at these reviewers going, everybody wants Starfield. Everybody's looking at Starfield. Everybody just keeps saying Starfield. Starfield's the last chance for this, that, and the other thing. And then, let's say you give the game like an 80, okay? Let's say they rate it as an 80. But they focus on the 20% as opposed to the 80% positive. They focus on the 20% negative. More people will click on that article and say things like, Xbox releases a great game with many negative caveats. You know what I mean? Like something like that. And so you're not crapping on it, but you're not praising it, and it's just enough to make the haters and whatever else and the naysayers and the blah, 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 blahs and the sensationalists to click on that article because they're going to say,
even if the score is decent, you're saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying, but they're going to spin it in a way that they're going to get the people who are looking for the game to fail are going to click on that article because of the tail end of the sentence. Like I said, man, I know how these guys work. I know how spin works. That's exactly what they're going to do. And they're going to go,
okay,
let me tell what are the negative caveats, and they'll click on the article because they want to focus on that.
Let me
tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, and the chat likes what you're saying. Let me cautiously kind of paraphrase what Special Nick was saying. He was saying that the reviewers might not give Starfield a great score, and then if Starfield doesn't get a great score, they will have a bounty of supply of negative Xbox content to publish about Xbox. It's kind of like watching something degrade that was once great. And yes, I do believe there is a lucrative in negativity for clicks, right? A lucrative process going on there for clicks and content. It's weird because I built my channel off of mostly like 80-90% positive stuff. So I don't believe that reviewers will dock more than a couple of points out of 100 for Starfield on the merit of Xbox has never had big AAA games in 8 years or new IPs in 8 years, or for the most part, or that Xbox failed with Redfall, or that Xbox is not as great as PlayStation. I can't really truly see reviewers and the industry people docking it more than a couple points. And so they might, because there might be that thing like, personally for me, Mag, I don't play on my PlayStation more than a few times a year. Like when the big games come out, I'll be on that game all the way till I'm done. And so when I'm there is a bit of me that's like, I don't really want to play here. I'm pointing over at the PS5. Here's the Xbox, okay? I don't really often want to be here. I'd rather be here where my friends are, where all of my games are, where my progress and my achievements. Like, that's personal bias. So I'll play the crap out of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart until I'm done. And I'm like, hey, that was pretty good. I'm done. I'll log off and I'll go back to the Xbox. And that's me. But I also feel like the industry reviewers are very, very jaded. And I don't blame them. For some 20 years, they've been like pushing on this mold where you play all these big games and you have to review a lot of big games and you have to make articles. You have to get them on YouTube. This has been a thing that has been really big, and it's the new operas. It's the new thing, right?
Yep.
So reviewers are already by nature jaded, and it's not a knock against them because we all play so many games and it's getting harder and harder to get impressed. So my feeling is that Starfield will be in the 80s and hopefully in the upper 80s, from what I would assume that Bethesda can do outside of Fallout 76. But Special Nick is saying that they could persist with that negative clicks because, let me ask you this, Mag, as I give the mic back to you on my show. I'm just kidding.
No, go nuts.
What is more lucrative right now? The redemption story of Xbox, like Starfield's great. This looks really good. This is coming out. What will generate more clicks? The Xbox is going to be great. This is the Starfield's redemption of Xbox, or Xbox has just proven they cannot deliver AAA quality. Which one do you think gets more clicks?
Like I said, anything that like if the Xbox can't deliver quality or whatever else, that would sell more than giving them a positive comment, right? You'll have the Xbox community will, they'll be behind. Let's say it is a 100% positive article, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, you know what? Then you'll get the Xbox people in there. You'll lose like 70% of the audience that might go to that channel because, right?
They're PlayStation centric.
Right. So here's what you do. Like I said, you can put a positive in the title, and I'm not saying I would ever do this. This is nonsense. This is like mustache twirling nonsense. But this is what they do because
there will be some that'll do this. You're saying
absolutely, and you know what? You can clip this, do whatever. We'll come back to this when it comes out. And when I read those articles, what I'm going to do is if and when those articles come out, I am going to screenshot every single one of them and read every headline live on this show when the reviews drop, because that is 100% going to happen, where they're going to put a positive thing on there. So the Xbox guys, that 30-40% click on that article to see the positive. And in the tail end of that sentence, like I said, I'm telling you this is going to happen. The tail end of the sentence, they're going to put one little caveat in there, just enough of a morsel. And this is assuming that the game is great, by the way. And they're going to put just enough in there to get somebody else who wants the game to fail to click on the article as well, so that both sides have something to hold on to and fight about. Because at the end of the day, it's all about fighting with each other, not getting together. Nobody wants everybody to get together. They want everybody to be fighting and separated, because you know what? Conflict sells, and conflict brings attention. Negativity and positivity clashing bring attention. You could take what I just said, not just for the video game industry, you could take that into politics, you could take that into race relations, into sports, into everything. And what do they want us to do? Fight with each other. Not be together, not be brother, sister, whatever. They want us to fight with each other, and that's the same in gaming. And that's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, that's why people say that some of the media sites, like, they profit off the console war. Or they throw a little fiery grenade out there, and then they're like, like I said, you throw the piece of meat down and watch the creatures fight it out, and you just sit there and go, and just count the money. I sent you a DM on Twitter, Mag, and I want, excuse me, I want you and I to go back and forth on these. I'm going to let you read the first one, and we'll talk about it, then I'll read the next one. This is from Gamer Rant, which is a big multi-platform, gaming-centric site. Let me know when you see, you'll see a space split apart each of the headlines. But over the past month or 2 months, Gamer Rant, who has a big website, and I think they also have a YouTube channel, they have been writing articles about Xbox, and more specifically about Starfield. And if you read the headlines, you can see what Mag's talking about. Now, I don't fully subscribe to the gaming is biased or the gaming has an agenda to bring down Xbox, but I do subscribe.
No, not at all.
Right, and Mag doesn't either, but we do see that Xbox being in third place, it's reader service. Now, clip this, please. It is reader service to say something slighted about Xbox because, like Meg said, 70% of your audience could be diehard PlayStation or Nintendo, which is in sports, food, politics, or fashion. Right. That is the way to go to get the most clicks. So do you see the first one there? Go ahead and read. This is the headline from Gamer Rant.
Oh, no, wait, whoa.
In your DM on Twitter, I sent it to you.
Give me a second. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong thing. I was looking at WhatsApp.
Yeah, I figured.
Which one do you want first?
You take the first one, Xbox.
Okay, here we go. Xbox Game Pass doesn't currently have a very packed year, and the service can't just rely on Starfield to carry it alone. So there is enough there now. It says already you've got the negative, right? So not like super negative, but it's enough for someone to grasp onto. Like I said, what are you trying to do as an author? What are you trying to do as a writer, as an editor? You're trying to get the traffic in. You don't want to cater to 30%. That doesn't make any sense. You want to cater to 100%. How do you fool all the people all the time? By putting a little bit of each into all of there.
Yeah.
Right? So by putting I know Abraham Lincoln said that.
A little bone to the Xbox guys and a big bone to the PlayStation guys is reader service.
Exactly. In 2023, apparently you can't fool all the people all the time. So that's what I see there. I see negativity there, and then you look at you can't just rely on Starfield to carry it alone. That implies to me that Starfield is the positive part. Is that's the thing that the Starfield's going to be carrying everything on its back, right? So there you put out a positive by saying Starfield's going to be great, but
they
then you
did.
put
Yes,
that negative
they're
in
saying
there.
they're saying that it's okay, Xbox fans. You do have Starfield, but
Right.
is it enough? But
you're always going to have that but. And
so let me talk
is
about real
70%.
quick. Let's spitball really quick. Not spitball isn't the right word, but let's try and remember some of the games. Like there were a couple of misses, like Benedict Fox and Ravenlock weren't incredible, but Planet Lana's coming and it's already in the low 80s to mid 80s probably. At this point, it's like 83. We've had Atomic Heart, which was pretty well liked. We've had Wolong, which was really liked. We had Minecraft Legends, which was okay, but well liked, I guess. Redfall, no, Redfall wasn't great. What were the other things that came to Game Pass? You probably couldn't remember off the top of your head, but there's been some okay. MLB 23 if you're into baseball, and then of course you've got Forza Motorsport and you've got Starfield. And you might have something like possibly Hellblade, but that is one of those. Let me read the next headline from Gamer Rant.
Go for it.
Starfield's procedurally generated planets may be already pale in comparison to Star Wars Jedi Survivor's universe. So here, what we're looking at is
straight negative.
This is an SEO onslaught. Like Starfield's big in the search results. Jedi's Survivor is huge in the search results. This is the classic. I watch a car reviewer on YouTube, and he always says, "Is the Cadillac CT4 a better car than the Acura R4 or something like that?" That's not even a real car. Anyway, but what he does is he's like, "I'm going to review the Cadillac, but I'm going to use another similar car that is in competition that is also high in SEO, so I can get in the Acura people and the GM people." So here they are doing SEO. Bring in the Star Wars people that will fight to death for Star Wars. Bring in the Starfield people that will fight to death for that one.
Right.
So
you're
how negative is that one?
That was to me that was pure negative. But what they're doing is you're buffering, just like you said. You brought in the Star Wars situation, right? What you're doing is that you're using another fan base to buffer against, in this particular case, the Xbox fan base, or in the very least the Bethesda fan base, because it's not just Xbox; it's going to be on PC and whatever else, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's say the Bethesda fan base. So now you're opening up the avenue to three very large groups: the Xbox fan base, the PC fan base, the Steam people, all that kind of stuff, and the Game Pass people. And I'll put them all
and
on one
RPG
side.
fans,
and the RPG fans. You're bringing in the Star Wars fans, the Jedi Survivor. Well, let's just say the Respawn fans of those two games or whatever. So you're basically maximizing your audience by spreading that out. But you put in something that's going to what's it going to do at the end of the day? It inflames people and it makes them fight and argue with each other. Just go to Instagram, go to Facebook. Go to Twitter, and what do you always see? What do you always constantly see?
Dog turds?
You're seeing people, besides hot girls in bikinis and whatever else, you're seeing people fighting.
Or that.
You're seeing road rage stuff. You're seeing
people getting hurt.
clickbait stuff, because they're trying to ignite like some kind of like a negative race relationship between all the different race classes in North America fighting with each other about this, that, and the other thing. They do it on purpose to make people upset, to make people, and what happens? People get emotional when they get upset, and then they respond. And that's how they get their clicks. They're basically dropping a bomb, a grenade, and they're walking away. And this is what they're doing like I said, in politics, in religion and race relations and video games and Hollywood, and I'm sick of it. And I don't read it anymore. And I just try to ignore it because it's ridiculous. And they do it on purpose to make us fight with each other so that they maximize their viewership. And what they're doing there, you brought it, just like you said, with Star Wars. Can I read the next one?
Yeah. Let me, I cannot, in my capacity, I cannot just explain this, but those who know there was a article went up today that was really, really had a word that was just not the right choice of words. And I'm going to move on from that, but they have probably generated 10 times or 100 times more clicks than normal because of a choice that maybe misfired, and they are riding the storm. Like the other day, one of my good friends was like, they're on a witch hunt. Everybody was out to get him for something he said on a podcast. And he said, "Hey, I'm loving it." And I'm like, yeah, you might be loving the attention, but then when you take a breath, you're like, this sucks. Everybody's after me. Read the next one, Meg. What do you got?
Okay. By the way, shout out to Titan Drago. He said something very interesting. Journalistic martyrdom. That's exactly what it is. Now, here we go. Here, listen to this next one. Just one sentence. The pressure is on Starfield after Redfall's lackluster reviews. I'm going to kind of have to agree with half of that. Half of it.
Okay.
Only,
yeah. Fight your point here.
Hold on a second. Now, this is what I'm going to get at. What I agree with is that in terms of the mind share of the Xbox ecosystem, when it comes to the general public, not the Xbox fans, not PC guys, not people that are in the ecosystem, and not even gamers. It's the general Joe Blows who don't know what's going on out there. When you start hearing and seeing negative everything Xbox like they did last generation, that's how you lose the mindshare war. So I think in that respect, they're not wrong, because then all of a sudden, if Xbox takes another hit with Starfield, let's say, I'm just saying theoretical, this is all theoretical. If they take another hit with Starfield, then it's going to be the Xbox's trash across the world kind of thing, and it's going to be like, and like I said, Xbox One, people say, "Oh, it was the worst generation out of the 3 generations of Xbox." It's still here, isn't it? It's still made another generation. There's still going to be another generation after this. There's still going to be in here 10 years. You don't buy 26 studios or however many studios it is now. You don't buy all these studios just to pack it in and say, "Oh, Gamerant said we suck." Guys, pack it in. That's
you know
it.
what?
Everybody go home. No,
I'm going to round this number, but PlayStation pulls in about $25 billion a year in revenue in their PlayStation gaming division. Xbox pulls in $16 billion, and Nintendo is below that. So all this doom and gloom about if Starfield fails, it's over for Xbox.
God, no, they're not going anywhere.
But Mag's right. The title should be "The Pressure is on Xbox" after Redfall's lackluster reviews. But Mag's right. 50% of this title is legit because the pressure is on Starfield to represent Xbox this year, right? Because if Forza is amazing, gosh dang it, we've had 19 Forzas in the past 2 years. So
I know.
that one I can't completely fault them. I'll read the next one. Starfield's loss is a gain for the Outer Worlds 2.
What? Hold on a second. Say that one again.
It's written incorrectly because I dictated it on my phone instead of retyping all of the.
No. I got it.
Starfield's loss is a gain for the Outer Worlds 2. First of all, let me break that down. What do you mean Starfield's loss? What loss?
The game hasn't even come out yet.
What are they seeing? Meg, what are they seeing about Starfield that they don't think is going to be good enough, and Outer Worlds is going to be going to get to take all the glory? Now, I love Outer Worlds, and I love Obsidian a lot. Yeah. But one of my major gripes with the Outer Worlds was that it just didn't do all the extra things that you would expect from a Bethesda wannabe game. And it really is. Obsidian makes great RPGs, but when you just played another RPG from Bethesda, you're like, it doesn't do all that extra stuff. It doesn't give you that full meal deal. So it's so weird to say Starfield's loss is a gain for the Outer Worlds Part 2. What's the next one?
I don't know. That's stupid to me. Okay, here's this one. Starfield's. Here's another one.
Here it is.
Guys, anybody seeing the pattern now? Everybody thinks Mag is a psycho. Listen to this one. Starfield's loss is a game for Naughty Dog's rumored.
This is just one media site, but we do see this from different sites. It's they're not the only ones, but I'm sorry.
They literally said Starfield. They said Starfield's loss again in a different article. Starfield's loss is a game for Naughty Dog's rumored sci-fi game. First of all, I could tell you with almost absolute certainty that Naughty Dog's game is going to be nothing like anything the Bethesda games are going to do. Naughty Dog has their formula and it works well. And I love Naughty Dog, one of my favorite developers out there. I adore them. And I adore their narratives and their stories. Yeah, great. Yes, you in the back, Colt. Yes, sir.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go to the bathroom. Get out of here.
No, here's the best part about that. Yep. I made the same mistake you did and that Gamerman did. Naughty Dog's not making a sci-fi game. Cory Barlog and Sony Santa Monica are, and I got corrected the other day. So a lot of people have been talking about this supposed Naughty Dog sci-fi game, but it's actually Cory Barlog is making a sci-fi game with Sony Santa Monica, which is, I mean, either one is huge and it's super impressive.
I am flabbergasted. I was almost 100% certain it was.
I was on that for a long time. I same as you. I just learned the other day. Now I should check the chat. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I even talked to Rand. He's like, no, it's Cory Barlog and Sony Santa Monica are making a sci-fi game. Naughty Dog is working on Factions, which is going to be a big deal. So, what was that one again? Starfield's Let's just fix it for them. It's just funny that I can make that mistake on my YouTube channel because it's just me. It's just me. Like I sit down and I come up with a script or I come up with the buttons and the bulletins and I make a video. And then I think I said it in a video like a couple weeks ago, Naughty Dog sci-fi game, and somebody goes, Colt, it's not Naughty Dog, it's Sony Santa Monica. I'm like, in a comment, I'm like, I didn't know that, no big deal. Nobody died, right? But Gamer Rant has a small staff of people like Jimmy. Can you just ask Sarah if that is this Naughty Dog? No, it's Sony Santa Monica. Oh, let me just fix the freaking title. So Starfield's loss is a gain for Naughty Dog's gosh darn it, Sony Santa Monica's rumors.
Oh, wait a minute.
Apparently, and I don't. What are you hearing?
Yeah. I'm saying it's a fantasy game by Naughty Dog.
Yes.
It's a fantasy game by Naughty Dog, followed by Last of Us 3, which has already been, the script is already done, by the way, for Last of Us 3. I can't, like, that's a big one for me.
Now, son of a biscuit.
I love Last of Us. Anyways, here's the thing. It's going to be a fantasy game, and you're right, and Sony Santa Monica is working on a sci-fi game. So
Starfield's loss is a gain for PlayStation's sci-fi game.
So I was today years old when I discovered all of this. But anyways, the point is, that's not the point. The point is that they're trying to pit against Xbox people, Bethesda people, whatever, Starfield people against the Sony Naughty Dog guys. Because they're going to fight, especially Naughty Dog fans, they're going to fight to the death, right? And
what is the loss, though? Fans. Like... I mean,
just to bring people to the article. So I should
read. Oh, so this was on a Reddit thread, and I'm not a Reddit guy. I'm not on Reddit. Thank you to the 1,400 people who are here. Please hit the like button if you're having a good time. I know it's kind of unconventional to talk about one site's headlines, but the pressure is on so severely for Starfield, and it's part of what we're talking about today. And I'll get to these supers in a moment as well. But let me go back to this. To say that Starfield's lost, and I know anybody can take a step back and go, maybe Starfield's gunplay doesn't look incredible, or maybe the visuals don't look incredible, but how is that a gain for another studio? And
it's not.
And when Arcane totally failed with Redfall, what does that have to do with Bethesda Softworks in Maryland when a team in Austin, Texas called Arcane made Redfall? Like this perception or this
I think that's what it is, Cole.
It's ridiculous.
I think it's perception though, because when it's under the banner of Xbox, what people are going to do is paint a broad stroke, right? And they're just going to say, you know what? Doesn't matter if they're in different countries, different parts of the world, different continents, for crying out loud. They're going to look at it and they're going to say, "Yep, everything Xbox is garbage." Right? They're going to put it under one umbrella.
And Xbox and Bethesda should be all over, like stink on crap. They should be all over those studios to not go out the door until they are absolutely tip-top shape. Right?
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We've already, we've done it ad nauseum to the point where we talked about, listen, they need that gold seal of approval like Nintendo does. The game doesn't. Another game from now on, no game walks out the door until there's a gold stamp of approval saying this is the best. This is the best quality.
Until Mag has tested the sauce.
Stamp. Right? I need Phil to literally have a stamp and stamp each one individually. It may take him a very long time, many days on end with no sleep, but he has to stamp them individually.
Phil, I know you're
maybe even sign. He's listening.
Phil,
I know he's listening.
I know you're watching the show, Phil. We're going to need you to send the final build of every game to Mag, and he's going to run through quality control. And we're both going
to write it off.
It's just something. Everybody here in the chat also get access to the game. It's just something that Xbox needs to do. Can you imagine? It feels like, oh man, I need to get 1,400 people access to the game. Wow, X&C's doing some power. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is episode 108. I'm here with Middle Aged Game Guy. I'm Colteastwood. Yes. We're just a couple of idiots, old and dying in our old age. We've been gaming for a long time, so we're trying to give our best. It's like, for me, since like maybe 81, that's when I first picked up an Intellivision controller. Yeah.
Hold on. Listen to this. Listen to this. This just showed up. We're just talking about what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
I got a thing. I got a notification here, and it said, and it's for a YouTube. It's for a YouTube channel, whatever. And the headline is "Little Mermaid fails. Indiana Jones dropping the ball." There it is. So now you're getting
isn't Disney? But Disney is tied to Indiana Jones. Totally different studios.
No, yeah. Well, they own Lucasfilm, right? So it's still them.
Yeah.
So, but the point is, we're talking about this exact thing, and I glance over at my phone, and I see that article showed up, or not that article. Sorry, that video showed up, and I'm like, huh. And I know some people in the chat are going to be like, you see, Mag is watching negativity as well. No, it just happens to be somebody that I do know that has a channel, and that happens to be a negative thing. Now, watch that video get more views. Watch that video get more views than any of his other content. Watch. I'm actually going to mark it down, and I'm going to check it out.
I polled the audience a while ago, and I didn't look. I asked, do you watch... it's an anonymous poll. I can't see it yet. Hang on. Wow. This is a testament to the audience that we have, Mag. I said, do you watch a lot of negative content on YouTube? And when you watch YouTube, if you're going there to see somebody whine, whinge or complain about something, or if it's about something negative, like when you click it. And 79% say they do not watch a lot of negative content. That is a really good compliment for what we do, Mag.
Well, you know what? We're not overly negative. We can be sometimes, but hey, it's human nature. What are you going to walk around like la 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 like all day long? Like, what are you, Jack? Don't be an idiot. Like,
sidebar. When I would get scared at night, in the middle of the night, after a bad dream, I would hum quietly the Smurfs theme to myself.
You caught that? Okay, you caught that.
Yeah. It was a thing. I got to read these super chats. We got one more title. I just clicked off. It is. I'm going to skip the last one because we already talked about it. The scale of Starfield's hard sci-fi universe may be too big for its britches. The scale of Starfield's hard sci-fi. Now, hard sci-fi meaning there is like some realism. You're not going to have talking aliens with 3 eyes and 4 boobs. As far as I know, maybe too big for its britches. Now, they could be talking about the 1,000 Planets, which has been complained about for 12 months, but I don't know. I just don't know. It's just needlessly negative.
You know what? Let me read. How about this? How about we wait till the game comes out, and then we play the game with our hands, and then we say, hey, this game is awesome, or this game sucks. How about we do that? By the way, Techies, I saw what you said. Yeah.
Well, I've made a lot. I've made probably 8 or 10 videos about Starfield, like what could be, what's going to be in there, what we know. And I've enjoyed making that content. But guess what? 90% of that content is fairly positive. Like, you're allowed to be excited about things. Like, unfortunately, I learned.
Angry Joe. Angry Joe's got 3.6 million subscribers, and his shtick is like freaking out and throwing stuff or whatever. Like, does it work?
Yeah,
clearly.
It does, and it's entertaining. I used to watch his stuff a lot, and then he didn't make as many of the same videos. But
no, not anymore. Like now, but still, the negativity still sells, man. I'm glad our fans, your fans, Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I am too, Mag. I really am. Like, we really do appreciate it, and we see it. Like, Mag's watching the chat even more than I am, and we're laughing at the stuff you guys are saying because you guys are really, I don't know. That positivity really helps. I got back into this because of angry Nintendo nerd, and he was really negative, but he actually did it because he loved those games.
It was entertaining.
And it was entertaining. It was shtick, right?
Yeah, it's shtick. Yeah,
and
like when I freak out, I'm not always mad. I just freak out because I'm Italian. It's just what we do. But
and
yeah,
Canadian,
it's just,
and you don't.
Hey, we're supposed to be nice up here. We say sorry a lot, but I'll still
I think
beat
it's
the
great
crap
when
out of you.
I tweet out the show, somebody put a Canadian flag like banner waving. So it's pretty cool to help you represent your amazing country. We got a couple supers here from Sesh Gremlin 117. Thank you so much for the Australian $8. Says, hey fellas, loving your work on the podcast, helping me manage my cabin fever from sitting in a tractor or a truck for 16 hours a day during sowing time. Sowing time as maybe he means harvest time when he says sowing. Because, you know, phrases are interchanging. So, yeah, what we've called over here is harvest time. I come from an area where there's a lot of agriculture all over Washington and big trucks sitting on the big Interstate 90. So, I feel for you, bro. Appreciate the super. Biff Rinaldi with the 5 says, was just at GameStop an hour ago on my way home from work, and they had PS5s and Series X's sitting on the shelves.
There you go. Isn't that nice to see? Isn't that nice to see after like years of battling people in the parking lots, just trying to get your hands on one or
putting one in your cart online. It's like something went wrong. Something went wrong. And I've still never seen a Series X sitting behind one of those glass cases or on a shelf. I don't go to stores often enough, but let's see. Xbox International in Espanol.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
They're awesome. Says a 5 says, Mag just hit the CMA's face with that hot sauce tortilla you made. Tell them you can feel the heat.
Oh,
just agree the deal. That was your last video on Twitter?
Yeah, it literally took 3 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just making a little snack for myself. And I'm like, start filming this. I just want to film a little snack that I'm making. And it literally took 3 minutes. Guys, you got leftovers in the fridge? Just watch that video. You can make yourself a little snack in 3 minutes, and it was delightful. But you know what? Yeah, I should have put cheese in it. It would have helped bind the ingredients in the middle. But it doesn't matter.
You know what?
I was eating it myself.
I would watch. You know what I would watch every single time is a 2-camera video series of you, top down, and one on you, cooking something while you talk about the current video game news. I would watch that freaking content every night, every time.
I will do that.
What do you say, chat?
That's something. Come on, chat. Anybody want me to do that kind of stuff? I will.
I would while you're rolling out, throwing in, stirring, whatever you got to do, and then you're talking about you have 3 topics you want to talk about with video games and make like a little. I'd watch the heck out of that, man. People like to listen to the mag.
I would actually do a live stream of
with
me
no shirt on,
cooking like a whole with no shirt on.
I'm gonna cook bacon with no shirt on.
I was gonna say so all the bacon grease burns my nipples. I just put duct, like the girls in the strip clubs in the U.S.
got duct tape.
They put the electrical tape and X's around. Yeah. Anyways, I'll do that, and I'll cook bacon only. Oh yeah.
Boner Jams, thank you so much for the 5. He says at Colt Westwood, great show always, bud. Love the new Star Wars game. Mag, handsome as always. Have a great week.
Cheers, man.
Check out those guys on Under the Bus on Wednesday nights. They talk about all guitar, all music stuff. You can check them out on YouTube. Just UTB. You'll be able to find them. We've got Treybone 408. Sorry, I have to read this from far away right now until I get some stuff fixed out. But anyway, SF, a phenomenal game, a must play, but don't rush to. SF. Street Fighter. The Street Fighter? I was going to say San Francisco.
Yeah.
It could be Street Fighter. Just write it in the chat. I'll keep an eye out for Treybone 408. Thank you so much. Dead Planet, thank you for the 5. Soft funnel case. He says, rightly or wrongly, if a showcase is a banger, Starfield won't have as much pressure on it. After June 11th, Starfield probably won't appear so lonely. After June 11th, huh? Yeah, I mean, the showcase is going to be good. It's going to be good. Let's see. We got Pencil Karate. You like that name, don't you?
Yeah, I love that. That and Kung Fu Hot Dog. They both have martial arts in it, and I think they're both hilarious. They're both great names. Like Kung Fu Hot Dog and Pencil Karate. I just love it. I'm just picturing pencils fighting. Anyways, carry on, Cole.
I picture like a really old clip art drawing of Kung Fu Hot Dog or Pencil Karate, like an old Windows, Windows 98 or Windows 95 stuff. He says, "I love you guys, and the show is great. I know we all get really excited about new games, and we shouldn't let some sourpuss ruin the fun for us."
Exactly. Wait till you get it in your hands, play the game, and love it or hate it. However you want to feel about it. No one's going to fault you for loving it or hating something. You know what I mean? I've said it a million times. If you go see the greatest movie ever made, and there's 100 people in the theater, there's always going to be 10 people who say it's the worst thing they've ever seen, right? So it's just that's just
Hey,
as humans.
I like the Fast and the Furious movies. I came to a realization a few years ago that they are just dumb fun, and I just like it. Like, people make fun of it. I go, man, I just have fun with it. Like, at this point, it's a joke in itself, and people will say, oh, it's trash. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have a good time. It was so funny because we went back and watched it from the beginning, and I've always watched Fast and Furious like here or there. So my wife and I went back and started with the first one. We were watching it like every 3 days, and toward the end, I was like, about some of the the crew, like, oh man, these two they love each other and they're always got each other's back, and it just becomes a joke. Let people enjoy stuff, man. Let
people enjoy stuff. Drive a Fiero in space. Go ahead with Ludacris behind the wheel. Who would have ever thought of that?
Was it a Fiero?
I think it was a Fiero. I think it was. I can't remember.
Dude,
I just
those
remember
things can't even be on planet Earth, let alone above the atmosphere.
No kidding.
That's hilarious.
What a perfect name to have Ludacris doing the most ludicrous thing on Earth, driving a car in outer space. No one would have ever thought that would, like, if you watch the first 3 Fast and Furious movies, you're like, okay, so you're telling me you're from the future. Yeah. And Ludacris is going to get into a car. Mm-hmm. And he's going to launch into outer space. That's correct. And he's going to drive a car in outer space. Uh-huh.
And people are going to go. Okay, and people are going to go see this.
And people are going to go watch this. I'd be like, yeah, they're going to go watch this. Like, a lot. They're going to make $1 billion every single movie.
Hey, aren't we due for a really great?
This man.
Aren't we due for a really great, like, super campy, out over the top Fast and the Furious game? Like, make it happen. Make it happen. Speaking of driving, Forza Horizon 5 hit 30 million players, and people are like, how many sales though? How many sales though? How many did you sell though? How many?
Cares? You could sell 5.
Yeah, I mean, I know they sold like a couple million in the opening before it was on Game Pass, but yeah, 30 million is pretty awesome. I'm still playing it. I play it like every week.
Hey man, and, great.
It's fun. Here's another thing. It's very possible that we're getting Forza Horizon 6 next holiday. Does that blow the underwear right off your cheeks when you think about that already? Because in holiday,
calm down.
Me?
No, not you. They need to calm down. With the Forza
Playground. You need to. I want these on my cheeks. You need to calm down. No, you calm down.
Listen, they got a great base. All right, with Forza Horizon 5. Well, unless they plan on changing like the engine or something, just keep building on the game and just, you know what I would say? Stop giving them numbers. I would say at this point, create a hub world and just call it Forza Horizon, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. No more numbers. No more this. No more that. No more subtitles. Just call it Forza Horizon, like World of Warcraft. And then just release DLC every 6 months to a year.
I'll do you one better.
Keep building up like Destiny 2. There we go.
Wait until holiday 2024 and release Mag's idea, because I've already said this, but release Mag's idea of Forza Horizon, and then work on porting over, since the games are all in the same build.
Yes.
Port 3, 4, and 5, and make those loadable maps. You load into the Forza Horizon, they've got an all-new map, and you go over to the corner of the icon and say, do you want to fast travel to Mexico? Yes. Would you like to fast travel to Australia? Yes. Would you like to fast travel to Britain? Yes. And then all the DLCs there. Like, it could be behind a loading screen and just say, this is it. You can do Design Lab is that what it's called? Creation Lab.
Yeah,
all over these maps. You can build roller coaster tracks in Australia or Mexico or UK and just build this massive thing and you got it.
Exactly. You know what? Just do that. Just call it Forza Horizon. Basically, model it after, some people said Modern Warfare in the chat, but more so like Destiny. You have a hub world where everybody could be like either walking around, driving around, whatever, and then there's portals to different areas. And then as you add a DLC, that's a new portal on the big map. So, or even like one of the Lego games. You know how like the Lego games, like Lego Marvel or Lego DC, it has like the hub world or like the city. It'll have like Metropolis or Gotham or whatever. And then you could go to different areas and it'll take you to levels and take you to different whatevers. You do that with Forza Horizon. Just call it that. Make one bloody game and just build on it and continuously build on it and build your fan base, like I said, like Destiny, like World of Warcraft, that kind of thing, and just keep building it for years and years until you decide to do a new engine.
There's only one problem with our amazing idea. Right now, I think the game is around 125 gigs. So that would be like a 500 gig game.
Well, I mean,
but maybe the future, Mag. Maybe the future allows you to host the other maps on the cloud, but we're not there yet. We're definitely not there yet.
Yeah, some people in the chat are also saying make it cloud only. You know, you could do all those kind of things, reduce it, find ways to work around it. I mean, for crying out loud, Call of Duty's like 250 gigs. Come on, man. They can find a way around it. They can find a way. They got to do it. And I would say do that with that, and then do it with just with Forza Motorsport. Do the same thing. Make them hub worlds and just build these incredible experiences. When they get Call of Duty, I said the same thing about Call of Duty. Do the same thing. Create a game literally just called Call of Duty. And then just every year or every 2 years, whatever you want to do, add a new portal to the map. So you can walk around with your soldier, design them how you like it, whatever, do whatever the hell you want to do.
And add a campaign you can buy if you want. I mean,
thank you. Add a campaign. You can buy the campaign, or if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you get it automatically, whatever. And then you go to the different portal, and that's your new experience for the year. As for the game itself, you could do like, I know it's ambitious, but hey, you're buying the company, spending billions of dollars. Ambition should be in the title of what you're doing. Then I would say take all the
everything should be like the best it can possibly be. Hey, Kikas TJ says most of the disk space is taken up by the car models, not the map. And according to him, I don't know if that's true, but if that is, 70% of the cars are overlaps from the old games, I would say, knowing like how many I bought so many cars in game. I don't know. Terry says, Colt Mag, good evening. Sometimes people write your name AMAG, so you're a middle-aged guy. But it's two G's for game guy, but I don't think you care too much. Some people write Colteastwood as 2 words, as like it's my first and last name. I don't mind too much.
Guys in the chat, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Some people are saying that's dumb as F and that's a terrible idea.
Which part about Call of Duty or Forza?
I'm just thinking like whatever I was saying. Maybe Call of Duty,
yourself.
Forza, whatever. Guys, I'm not talking about a live service. It's not a live service. I mean, the only thing that would be a live service would be the multiplayer, which it's live service anyways.
Wait, are you Call of Duty or Forza or both?
Well,
I'm sorry.
All 3 of them. Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon, and Call of Duty. I'm saying create a hub world where you can access all these different things in one thing instead of calling it Call of Duty 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all these ridiculous names. Just do that. Or even Forza, same thing. I'm talking about creating a hub world that you can access them all in one shot. Not a live service game. I'm not talking like I think you guys are misunderstanding.
I agree with you, Mag, because maybe I'm completely different, but I occasionally still play Forza Horizon 4, and then I go over to Forza Horizon 5.
That's what I'm saying. Just to access, being able to access it. That's what I'm talking about.
Be so, and maybe nobody does this like I do, but it would be so amazing to load up Forza Horizon 5 and go, oh man, I want to drive around in Britain and do all that stuff there. But I can't. I have to stop and load up the other game and wait for it to load, and then it's a totally different thing. And where's my Cadillac CT4? Oh, that's only in Horizon 5. I don't know. I think it'd be cool, but maybe it's just way too demanding on game installs and all that stuff. But let's see. We got this.
Sorry, Cord Wiener all night. That guy's hilarious. Yes, carry on.
This just actually broke a couple hours before the show went up.
Ooh.
Square Enix said that the reason why Final Fantasy 16 is exclusive is because PlayStation offered a better deal. Now they kind of imply, the author of the article kind of implies they offered a better deal than Microsoft did. But when I read it, it didn't look like Microsoft offered any deal. They just offered the best offer. It says Square Enix chose PlayStation because they made the best offer for Final Fantasy 16. One of the benefits included in Final Fantasy 16 exclusivity deal was that direct communication with PlayStation 5's engineers, which are a team of high-tech specialists who know the PS5 console inside and out. And we've heard that from Square Enix saying the things we can do on the PS5 are amazing. And we've actually been seeing recently that when experts get time with the Xbox Series X, that you get amazing results. Right now, Plague's Tale Requiem is running some 20 frames faster and better than the PS5 on Series X. Did you know that, Mag?
I did not know that, actually.
And it's not the tools. It's not the hardware. It's not RDNA 2. It's not RDNA 1.5. It's not... it is time. And the problem that Xbox has to deal with that is almost impossible to fix right now is that their version of Xbox games take longer to make. So the path of least resistance is, does it look and run great on Xbox? Yes. Does it run and look great on PS5? Yes. And then the analysis is, it's better on PS5. And I've said this many times that developers look at the game and go, how's it run on Series X? Great. How's it look? Great. All right, we're done. We're out of here. We can go home. And I don't blame them for that. But the problem is the Xbox dev kit and the porting process and the documentation and instructions to do that are far too much work compared to PS5. And that's where the disparity comes from. And your promise is not made. Meg, are you excited about Final Fantasy 16? Can you sell me on it?
First of all, let me get this out of the way. Square Enix are a bunch of whores. And I'm only going to say that because what I mean by that is that they will whore themselves out to whoever drops the money bag in front of them. They did it with Outriders on Xbox. Then all of a sudden they turn around and they do an exclusivity deal with PlayStation. Then they release something else for Xbox. Then they get Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. And now they're going back to PlayStation. Wait, like, just shut up already. Just stop.
We're very disappointed in the sales projections of the...
They're full of crap. And then, of course, they were unnecessarily harsh on their North American... Because apparently, what was it? A Tomb Raider selling like 10 million or 11 million copies was below their expectations. Yet one of their Japanese games launches and hits like 7 million. And they're like, it did very well. It did very well for us, and we're super happy about it.
That's probably because they spent less money than they did on Tomb Raider. That's where the projection thing is.
And then of course, is it any mystery that they dumped their Western studios? Which, by the way, is an absolute shout out to Everborn Saga. Him and I agree with this 100%. The biggest and Mr. Boomstick XL, we all thought that the biggest travesty was letting Embracer Group get those studios, the Western studios from Square. Microsoft should have had those people. They would have had Tomb Raider.
They tied their own hands on this. Mag, it's their own dang fault.
It was the ABK thing.
I meant to get to this quite a while ago. This is the fake leaked list of the Xbox Showcase games that we are going to go over and laugh about. But there was this confidential off monitors picture of the listing for the Xbox Showcase for 2023. We're going to go through them really quickly and talk about what's crap and what's great. Number 1, yes. Avowed. I believe Avowed's going to be shown at the Showcase. Mag, what about you?
I think so. They have no choice at this point. They gotta go big, and they gotta show what's coming. And don't please, just for the love of God. I know that they're dumping the 12-month thing. No games, no dates, no nothing. Just show us the game. Say coming soon. That's it. Leave it alone. When the game is ready to launch, then you tell us about it.
Oh man, anyways, there are a lot of fans that are saying they need release dates. But man, is that a double-edged sword?
The problem is, but then you have the release dates and they can't meet them. So, how many games were supposed to be within that 12-month window, and almost none of them came? They all 12 months came and went, right? So, if you can't make the release dates, you're right.
To be fair, it was like 25% of the list didn't make the 12-month, but a lot of those 25 were pretty big. Yeah.
They were big names.
Starfield's going to be there. It has its own direct. Fable.
They need to show Fable in action. I think they need to show, that combination gameplay / cinematic
CGI.
trailer kind of thing.
Yeah,
a little bit of CGI, a little bit of gameplay. Give us a taste. It's been enough. My kids were in diapers when you announced it. They're going to high school soon. Come on, can you show us the game?
They announced in 2020. It's been almost 3 years, but yes,
I know.
Far too long without seeing anything.
Hold on. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Phil said when they acquired Playground, he did say I'm just paraphrasing, but he did say this. He goes, and their open world expertise is being utilized right now on a new game. More on that soon. 6 years later.
He said that in 2018?
He did on stage. So that's 5 years.
Hey, Forza Horizon 5 is an open world game. Maybe he meant that. No, he didn't.
No, he said a new.
I know.
New.
State of Decay 3. Do you think that Undead Lab is even ready to show anything?
Well, I did hear a rumor. Now, I don't know if this is true. I don't know. Chat, help me out here. I hear that there was a rumor that they just hired like a combat designer or something. And I'm like, well, isn't that like the majority of the game would be combat? So that seems like the kind of thing that would like. That's not something you bring in on like the last leg of development. That seems like something you would bring in like in the early development. So if that rumor is true. Then that means they got nothing to show, or very little to show outside of a CG trailer. But they already showed a CG trailer. They showed a zombie deer yelling at you, and then I think
it's been almost 3 years since their reveal. If it wasn't 2021, but I think Undead Labs, they need to force them to show something. And I made people mad when I said that, Mag. Like I said that Matt Booty and Phil should be going over there and go, what do you have to show us? Well, we don't really have anything. What can you show us? We're putting the pressure on you. And they're like, well, you need to make sure they have time to make the game. It's like, if you want this platform to thrive and get upward momentum, you have to squeeze somebody on the back of the neck and go, what can you get ready? What can you get your team ready? What can you segment out to get us something to show? Because it's time to show proof of life.
What would happen if I didn't perform?
What's that?
At work. What would happen if I didn't perform at work, or if I didn't show results? I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now. What would you do if you didn't perform at work? And they're like, okay, Colt, it's been years. Can you show us something? No. Are you kidding me?
In a small scale, when in my job, if I have to deliver something by the end of the week, I have 4 days to deliver it. If I haven't delivered it yet, like they're gonna say, can you send us what you have? And if I haven't really started on it, I was smoking them. Big trouble. Yeah. And these things scale up to big studios. And because you have to remember that when Undead Labs says we need another year, Microsoft and Xbox have to go back and go, okay, we have to budget you out for all your full-time employees and all the overhead and all of the funding. Like we have to budget that out because you're not ready. So,
and you have to reschedule your launch windows, and you have to say, okay, let's move this here, because now you got a gap. Right? Yep. And if you've got a gap, then they're going to say, okay, well, you know, put something here, something there.
AKA 2022. Yes.
Right. There you go.
Okay, here's the next one. Hollow Knight Slick Song.
Don't care. Next.
It was spelled wrong, but that one was supposed to be out by now.
Sorry,
but
I don't care.
I don't. Yeah. I know it's huge, but yeah, you and I don't care. A game called Overdose. I don't know what that is.
I don't even know what that is.
It's almost like it's fake. So maybe someone just said, "Give me an adjective or a verb or something." Everwild. No, you're not going to see Everwild. I don't think Rare's ready.
They scrapped it entirely, didn't they? And started from ground zero, kind of like
they stopped what they were doing and they went back and. 4. Yeah, I talked about this in my last video.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, they stopped what they were doing and they retooled the approach to the gameplay, so there's conflict and combat built into the game. So that took some time. They think that it is going to announce Quake. I've been talking about this for a while with no real merit. Like Quake seems like the next thing to do to revive like they did Doom, and it just seems like a no-brainer. I don't know. Yeah. Don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Hellblade 2, we're going to see Hellblade 2 combat and a release window?
No. They have to. They got to release it. They don't have to, but I mean, I would say they got to. I would release it in December of this year, and you got to show what's going on, what the story is, what's happening, where's Senua, what's the reason for this. I don't want her screaming at me again. You know, like I don't need her looking at me just going. And then I'm like, okay, you've been screaming at me since 2020. Now what the hell are you doing?
2019, she's been screaming at you.
Whatever, 2019.
Holy smokes.
So why are you screaming? Why are you upset? Tell us. Talk to me. Sit down. Have a beer. Let's find out what you're upset about.
Let's talk about this when you're released and we can play. That's when we want to talk about it. How about this next one, Scalebound? Like these delusional crazies really think Scalebound could still be revived. What's your percent chance Scalebound's at the show?
Zero.
Okay. What about Contraband? Avalanche made Rage 2.
Well,
they helped with Rage 2. They
one.
made Mad Max. They made Just Cause. Yeah, I do too. Do you think Contraband's going to be good?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it except that it was playing a Steely Dan song, and that was about it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you didn't even have it animated. You just had a frozen camera flyover.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, according to this fake leak, is supposed to bring a renew, but no.
No.
How about Wolfenstein 3? I thought for a time Wolfenstein 3 was a thing, but Machine Games is working on Indiana Jones. Yes. And before that, they were finishing Wolfenstein Youngblood with the help of Arcane. So
Yeah.
does Wolfenstein 3 exist?
I think so.
You think so?
It is. Yeah, they got to finish that trilogy, but I don't think it's now. Obviously, Indiana Jones is the focus, but it doesn't mean you can't put a team on the ground level.
Like, you know what I mean? Like a logo reveal, like BJ Blazkowicz is coming back. I'll give you guys. Let's see. Shout out to over 1,200 people who are still here listening to us talk about these fake games. There is some truth in what we're talking about. Like we're going to sieve out the nonsense and throw it in the garbage can, but. Learn this: Wolfenstein New Order and Wolfenstein. Oh my gosh, New Order and I just replayed it.
There was Youngblood.
The second one,
there was the New Order, and
New Colossus.
What's funny?
New Colossus.
I had the picture in my head. They're great.
Those games are great, but I learned that they did not sell very well.
Well, they don't have to worry about that now. Now they just need engagement.
It really bums me out because those games are Old Blood, New Order, the first one in 2014.
They're amazing.
They are so good. And I played them. I was replaying them last year, and they just hold up incredibly well.
Oh, dude, they're great games. I love those games. And the stories are so insane. I just can't even get over it. I'm just like, what is happening? Like, why is he decapitated? Now they're carrying his head. Now they're putting him on a thing. And then from 9 years ago? And I'm just like, what is happening here?
It was it was six some years ago when they took him to the execution. When that happened, for those of you who haven't played the game, like there's a moment on the last 3/4 of the game, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Forza Motorsport is on this fake list, but Forza Motorsport will be shown, but I think what they need to do is say what they're doing differently in the campaign, and most importantly, what they plan to do with multiplayer. But Forza Motorsport, they've been way too quiet. Midnight is next on the list, which is their idea that Project Midnight will be called Midnight. It's from Compulsion. I didn't cover some of all of the games from Xbox Game Studios in my video last week because there are some that I just don't have a lot of faith. Compulsion, I really liked a lot of We Happy Few, but I just want to give my opinion and say Compulsion is the one studio from Xbox out of all of them that I do not have a lot of confidence in them delivering something incredibly amazing. But I hope that their dark fantasy RPG with a female lead in Project Midnight is really great. I really hope it's really great because they've got some cool ideas, but they've yet to make a big game. Their last game, sorry, Mag, I'm just kind of going on rant here. Their last game, We Happy Few, was crowdfunded and then picked up in the last minute by Gearbox and sent out the door as is, and then it would kind of got, this is their first time having a AAA or a AA, like real, actual funding. Like, that's Midnight. Fallout New Vegas 2!
No, not yet. No.
Right now, modders are building Fallout New Vegas 2 in the Fallout 4 engine and creation engine for PC only. It is a multi-tiered thing. Check out your boy Brandy Boy on YouTube, who is a new YouTuber, and he's covered it really well. Like it is a community built thing. It's amazing, but it does not sound like there's nobody that can make it. And Obsidian is way too busy working on 3 games.
Yes.
Halo Tatanka. Meg, is it possible that Halo will make a big reveal for either single player expansion for the campaign or this battle royale mode? What do you think? We don't talk about that.
No, because 343 they have difficulty releasing anything. I have no faith in them releasing anything anytime soon.
I hear they're almost caught up to the 2 years they've been behind, and and fans that are still playing the game, which is not in my circle of friends as much.
Not a slight against the game. The game is great.
I hear it's really good right now, but
the game is good, but nobody's playing it now.
Man, you lost to me. You had to deliver that first few months, and gosh, it's just so bad. Too bad, because I love the campaign. What's we got a couple more here. Halo 3 Anniversary Edition. 2007 is when the game came out, right? Why in the world would you announce an Anniversary Edition in 4 years from now?
Yeah, but you already got the Master Chief Collection. Like, why would you even bother?
You've got the 360 version at 4K is all you have.
What I'm saying. You've got the MCC.
And it doesn't look great. It doesn't look good.
No, but I mean, what's the point at this point? Like, why would you pick? Like, I know Halo 3 is one of the most, one of the most popular. But I mean, what's the point at this point? Like, deal with your Halo Infinite and whatever else you're going to work on in the future. Like, I don't think they need to worry about that. I don't see that happening. What they should do, though, unrelated, is go for that Gears collection that everybody's been clamoring for in Unreal Engine 5.
Apparently that sucker is real. That sucker's real,
that's real,
according to sources.
Give it to us.
Even Special Nick has been one of the sources that I've heard talk about the Gears collection, and everyone's like, why do we need that? Because you have all of them available. They're all kind of up-resed and up performance on console. But if you're a PC gamer, you don't have access to most of the Gears games. And Jez Corden has kind of had to say, all right, I think it exists. I'm more on the team that it probably exists. So I think we're going to get a Gears announcement. But if those games come out kind of ported into Unreal Engine 5 and they do some nice things to them, and it has the multiplayer suites, that could be a big deal. I'm just not super stoked about replaying those games, but maybe I will.
Jesse P, this is for you.
What's that?
There, am I happy enough for you? He's like, he wrote in the chat. He's like, laugh out loud. And earlier, Mag was claiming he's positive. Right. I'm like, I don't know how your human emotions.
Hold on, I'm trying to see what you're negative about.
I'm not one way and then all another way. It's called human emotions. They range like a roller coaster. They go up and then they go down.
I mean, like, we're really excited about Wolfenstein and Fallout and stuff, and then you get to Halo, and both you and I are kind of like, well, I'm not so hot on. Yeah, I love it.
I see you. Carry on, Colt.
You get us close enough to the camera, we start to kind of meld into the same person. That's a little freaky. The last thing on this list is Cyberpunk DLC, but that wouldn't be enough.
Well,
I don't know. Also heard that, or it was announced that High on Life, the Justin Roiland game, is getting DLC. And apparently the game, even though it has a really low or fairly low critic score, has been a huge hit in the Xbox community and the gaming community that played it.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I liked it a lot.
Fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun little game. It was. And the thing is, it didn't overstay its welcome.
Did you sit there for like 30 minutes and watch a bunch of commercials in one sitting?
I saw that you did, and
I was
like,
bro.
Cold, what are you doing? I watched it for a few minutes. It was kind of funny, but the game didn't overstay its welcome. You know what I mean? It was just long enough that it got through the story. It was fun, and it was whatever. I was able to play through it. I enjoyed it. And it was what it was. And I'm like, that was a great little game. And it's funny.
It was.
At the Xbox showcase, that was one of my highlights of the show, was the trailer for that game. I'm like, this game's going to be something special. The
reaction in crowd was like really electric when that came on. Like, it looked so derpy, but we were all like, what? You could hear the gasps and the laughs and the every kind of light up when the showcase got a little quiet for a minute there. And High on Life. That's good. That's really good. Super's here. We got Nintendo, the Otaku. Thank you so much for the 5. He says 79% of all y'all on this poll are lying because all you did was watch negative content after Redfall dropped, and every Xbox podcast turned into hate content, including this one. I was very down about Redfall when I got hands-on the final build, and we were very negative. Also, before Mag was here, when Starfield delayed, it was pretty negative for a little bit because we were upset and we were let down. And then, of course, Halo, we were negative there too. And sometimes, I don't know, we talk about the constructive criticism. Like, if you're just needlessly hating, some people do that.
No.
Some people do
that. That's fine. They do whatever you want.
Brandon Martin, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Has been a channel member for about a month. Says, hey, Colt, Meg, I'm enjoying my time with Redfall. I know I'm not great, and on Twitter, I've gotten 4 death threats for enjoying Redfall. Okay, let me help you out, Brandon.
Wow.
When I played Redfall, there were many moments where I really enjoyed my time building my character. I'll tell you one quick story. I was playing Remy. She has a little robot dog that doesn't do a whole lot. That's one of the problems with the game. Like your powers don't do a whole lot. But I started as Jacob, the guy with the ghost eye and the raven, and it was a totally different thing. I was just playing by myself. I had my headphones in, and I was skulking around. I'd send out the raven, mark enemies. I would pull out the silent sniper and just pop heads off of enemies and skulk around. And then I threw I put a hack on a turret and turned it on enemies. I'm like, this is a totally different thing. And I enjoyed it for a little bit. And then you get to other parts where it's just like, oh, this is just not very fun. So, Brandon, I did have a lot. Let me not bore you with stories, but I did have lots of great fun here and there. But overall, when I take a step back, the game just didn't deliver on almost all the mechanics. So you are totally allowed to have a good time in Redfall, and people are. And yes, I got many threats. So people didn't threaten my life, but people were really horrible to me for about 2 weeks solid, and it sucked. It sucked big time.
It is like, that I don't understand it. Like, I mean, who cares? Like, if someone likes something, that's fine. If I have my opinion, whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say or what I think. See, you could think whatever you like. You're an individual person with an individual brain walking around. Do your thing and enjoy whatever you want, as long as you're not. Hold on. As long as you're not hurting people.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. If you're not hurting people and you're just doing your own thing and you just enjoy stuff, who cares what it is? You know what I mean? Like, just like I said, as long as you're not hurting anybody or breaking the law or whatever, just do something, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's so. Let me defend myself. Like, in March, I played a small portion of the game, and I didn't do a review. I did a video saying, here's what we got to play, here's what the mission's like, here's how the characters play. I didn't review the game. I didn't tell people, you need to go out and buy this immediately. Like, I didn't review it. I previewed it, and they went after me like I took money out of their wallet. Holy crap, Mag. Like, Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's see. Nintendo on the Otaku. Thank you so much for another 5. Says, hear me out. After Fable, both Playground teams together make a GTA competitor. Maybe throw in High Moon Studios after the merger. Now, Otaku's talking about High Moon Studios, who now only works on Call of Duty, but they made the incredibly fantastic War and Fall of Cybertron on the 360. Oh my gosh, those games are fantastic. It'll never happen, a GTA competitor. Like, there was a time when people tried to do that, but they just you don't get open world sandbox city games anymore where you get out of cars, get into cars, shoot, fly, run, except for Saints Row.
Saints Row. Sleeping Dogs was a great game, but it was just one game. I love that game. That
great
was
freaking combat too, and the cars are so arcadey. You could make them slam with the X button.
That was good.
That was great. We got Spartan661. Thank you for the $5 super. Says, I represent the gaming system that I fell in love with in the 2001s, and he's talking about the Xbox console. I try to represent it as well. I'll tell you what, they're trying to gain that traction, but one of my friends reminds me that Xbox isn't dying. PlayStation is just excelling farther than anybody ever could. It is an unstoppable force. In fact, in 2017, I have a video, PlayStation, the unstoppable force, because they've been doing it right for a long time, and Xbox will get there. And it's all on Starfield's shoulders. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding. Don Nintendo on the Otaku, thank you for another 5. He says, Hellblade 2 combat gameplay needs to be shown. Avowed gameplay, Fable teaser, Compulsion and Exile, which we didn't talk about. I'd pick one game reveal from Compulsion, In Exile, and id, he says. And one shadow drop has to be there, or the show is a flop. I think it might be too soon to see the steampunk first-person RPG from Exile, but do you think they're going to do a shadow drop at this at this event?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I can't see anything. There's nothing small enough to shadow drop because everything that they got working on are pretty big games, right? So they're
I
gonna
don't
be
think
big
there's any
titles.
DLC or any like
No,
side content.
I don't see anything small because you're not going to shadow drop something huge. That's ridiculous. Let's face it, because you want marketing out there, right? I would say that your best bet would be like just give us a one, and one more thing. But as a shadow drop, I don't see anything like that happening.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be with you, Otaku, if they had like a Forza Horizon 5 expansion, but they don't. I think they're done with that. But Sir X-Man, thank you for the $2 super, says Redfall has no problems on his Xbox Series S. Truth. Well, I guess it's kind of choppy on console. So, but I don't know. There are issues that people can forgive, I suppose. That's just the nature of the game. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. We still have time for the showcase. We've gone a long show, Mag. We've gone a long time. And where are we at? We're at 1,100 some people. Thank you so much. This is the XSC podcast. I am the host when I try to be. This is episode 103, and I'm here with my great, fantastic, I always say handsome, but I don't really mean it. But he's so talented. Meg, middle-aged game guy.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what you got going on this weekend. Are you going to be home to play games?
Yes, I'm going to be home. My traveling for work is over with until July, but I will be traveling for personal reasons. But that's not till June. Instead of going to E3, but I got some other things going. But anyways, yes, I will be back to gaming. I will be speed running the heck out of Resident Evil 4, so I can finish that up and I can get over to Jedi Survivor and Dead Island 2. So, I know, dude, it's so good. And anyways, I'm going to be doing that, and that's about it. Maybe I got a lot of people asking me to do some more cooking stuff, so I might do some more cooking stuff, maybe a little bit better production, but that's when I got some more time on my hands. So we will get that down the road, so we'll see how that goes. But anyways,
when you
Cole,
get to that, let's talk, because I've been watching a lot of different type of content, and I have some good ideas for like that extra production flair. So we'll talk behind the scenes.
I would love that. Yeah, we could do that. So yes. Anyways, it's been a great show, and before I go, chat, you guys are amazing, even though we may not agree with everything. In the end, guys, it's all just fun. Come on. Even when I yell at you,
Come on,
you
bring
know,
it in.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Everybody, looks like
we go like this. It's like, man, what are those guys doing?
Yeah, what are they doing?
Heck? It's gross.
Listen, it's all just fun, guys. We're all just having a good time. We're all having fun. And like I said, even if we don't agree with each other, at the end of the day, we're just having fun. So we'll see you guys all next week. What a great turnout we had tonight. And Colt, before I go, we have one more super chat that came in. But anyways, everybody,
did it come in hot, Meg?
See y'all next week. It came in hot from Trey Bone.
You want to read
check it out. Right, sure. We got a $2 super chat from Trey Bone 408, and he says, "Want Wizard Warriors reboot Unreal Engine 5 play like ER,
like Elden Ring." Now,
yes.
Wizard Warriors is the original like hardest video game on the NES. So yeah, I mean, freaking crazy. Can you imagine that?
Yep.
Yeah, people be all over it.
And then one more showed up from an
one more. Okay.
Yeah, Nintendo on the Otaku dropped another $2 saying Shadow Drop Project Belfry. I don't see that happening either. I think that's going to be one of those ones that they're going to actually,
I think Project Belfry is the side-scroller, hand-drawn beat-em-up. And Jeff Grubb, I was ready to cover it in the video, and I'm like, I just want to cover the big stuff. God, I can't. Stoic is the name of the studio, and how do I explain this? Remember what Pentiment looked like?
Yeah.
Picture the characters from Pentiment with 10 times more detail. Like they look 2D, hand-drawn.
You know what? That
like
actually
really ornate and really fast. Like TMNT Shredder's Revenge combat.
Okay.
Like
so
co-op or 4-player co-op. And it's all side-scrollers, really fast. All the characters are hand-drawn and hand-animated, but they look really ornate if you look at the Stoics' last game, which I don't remember because I didn't dig into it. It's on my notes, but Project Belfry could be Otaku. That could be something that they could shadow drop because it's a lot like in the same scope of Hi-Fi Rush. And when I first heard about Project Belfry, I was like, because it's one of those like AA or single A looking games. But then you find out, holy crap, that game's super fun. That could be a big deal. So thank you so much, Mag. Thank you for doing such an incredible outro. It's been a long show. We've been here almost 2.5 hours, and that's not normal for me. And my stomach's like, We appreciate you guys so much. Hit the like button on the way out if you had a good time. If not, you can hit the dislike. We'll still survive. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.